Good afternoon, honorable members. Order. Good afternoon, honorable members. Honorable members, this budget debate is conducted through hybrid means, and the normal standing rules of the legislature will apply. On connectivity, before we proceed to the budget debate, I must reiterate the ruling of the Speaker, which relate to connectivity problems. The Speaker has ruled that the following measures will be adopted to try and assist members who may not be able to participate in a debate due to connectivity challenges. If a member has problems with connectivity and is unable to deliver his or her speech, the presiding officer will call the next speaker on the speaker's list so as not to delay the proceedings. If the member regains connectivity before a response to the debate has commenced, the presiding officer will be flexible and allow the affected member to deliver his or her speech, with the proviso that the member reconnects to the sitting prior to the commencement of the response to the debate. Secondly, we request that a member who is scheduled to participate in a debate should arrange for a fellow party member to be on standby to read the member's speech into the record should the needs arise. The presiding officer will allow a fellow party member to read out the speech on behalf of a member who is unable to deliver his or her own speech. If all interventions fail and a member is still unable to deliver his or her speech and has not managed to arrange for a fellow party member or a whip to deliver the speech on his or her behalf, that speech will unfortunately not form part of the official record of proceedings. In short, if members have connectivity problems, the presiding officers will follow the above guidance to try and assist them. We trust that that is in order. Lastly, members who are not actively part of a debate are reminded to mute their microphones and switch off their cameras at all times. Also, members are requested to take all reasonable measures to reduce any background noises that may interfere with the broadcasting of proceedings. Honorable members, I also wish to confirm that the budget report 26 to 27 of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature has been tabled in terms of the standing rules. We'll now proceed to the matters on the agenda, being the debate on vote 2. I will now wish to call upon the Honourable Speaker to deliver a report. Honourable Speaker, poised for 45 minutes. Over to you, Honourable Speaker. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Honourable Speaker.
The Honourable Deputy Chairperson, who's the Chairperson of the session, the Honourable Deputy Speaker, the Premier, members of the Executive Council of the Province of KwaZulu-Natal, members of the Provincial Legislature, the Chief Whip and the Deputy Chief Whip, the Whip of the official opposition and all whips on the left side of the House, the Leader of the Opposition, senior management of the Legislature led by the Secretary Umanaidu, senior managers of all government departments, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, those who are connecting with us virtually, Molweni. It is our distinguished honor to stand before you today, honorable members, the distinguished guests and fellow citizens of this province, that we have to present to you the budget of this House. We affirm our enduring commitment to strengthening the pillars of democracy through effective oversight, meaningful public participation, and robust lawmaking. As we reflect on the work ahead of us, we remain guided by the constitutional mandate to ensure accountability, transparency, and responsiveness in all our processes. Considering the country and provincial socio-economic challenges, the legislature has no choice but to adapt, innovate, and uphold the trust placed in it by the citizens of this province. We therefore, honorable members, view this 2026 budget as a strategic tool we will use to deepen democratic processes and enhance institutional efficiency. We are confident that this budget prioritizes programs that bring the legislature closer to the people, strengthens the capacity of members to fulfill their role, and ensure that administration delivers support services with excellence and integrity. Through prudent financial management and a results-driven performance culture, we aim to maximize impact and uphold the dignity of this institution. As we table this budget, we reaffirm our collective responsibility to serve the people of KwaZulu-Natal with dedication, accountability, and unwavering commitment to democratic and clean governance. Honorable members, we make the above commitment not lightly, but more assured of keeping it, because this is commitment we entered with two colleagues who are no longer here, but whose work for the past 2 years remains alive. As I stand here, I am nervously aware that asiphelelanga ngoba umama uncamisile Nkwanyana akekho lana. Asiphelelanga ngoba uDr. Nkululeko Godfrey Mahlaba akekho lana. These members dedicated themselves into building an impactful legislative oversight in this province through their contribution in individual committees they sat in and through steadfast leadership in their respective committees. And we promise to give all in their honor. Honorable Nkwanyana served as a member of the legislature since 2012. She dedicated 14 years of her life to public service and the advancement of the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Throughout her tenure, she served diligently in various portfolio committees in this house. At the time of her passing, she was chairing the Public Participation and Petitions Standing Committee, thus ensuring that we effect Section 118 of the Constitution fully. Honorable Mahlaba joined the legislature in 2022 and served in the provincial executive as MEC for Human Settlements and Public Works from August 2022 to May 2023, and thereafter as MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture. And from May 2023 until June 2024. Following the 7th establishment, he served as the chairperson of committees until his untimely passing. The legislature carries a profound debt of gratitude to these two members who contribute to its growth and development. We do not merely acknowledge their service, we celebrate the enduring legacy they have helped us build through their dedication, professionalism, and commitment to democratic governance. They laid a strong foundation upon which we continue to advance the work of this House, including to their successors. We know that you will find work and you will be proud to walk the same path that has been walked by two of our greatest. Honorable members, within the administration, we also have mourned the passing of members of staff, including the passing of Mr. Themba Magwaza, who served the legislature with dedication for 14 years as committee coordinator for the Standing Committee on Public Participation and Petitions. I want you to make that sink. We've lost in this term both a chair and a coordinator of one of our key committees in this House. He played a great role in facilitating the work of the committee and supporting public participation processes that enable citizens to engage meaningfully in legislature affairs. We also lost Mr. Christopher Ngobo, who served this institution for 13 years. He began his service in the office of the Speaker and subsequently was elected as chairperson of NEHA within this legislature. At the time of his passing, he was serving in the committee's division as committee coordinator that was responsible for NCOP. He was respected for his dedication to the interests of employees. His commitment to organizational development and his unwavering support of the legislature will remain with us forever. The contributions of Mr. Magwaza and Mr. Ngoba extends far beyond their official responsibility. Their commitment to public service, loyalty to this institution, and their positive influence on colleagues and stakeholders alike have left a lasting legacy. Honorable members, while we mourn those who we may have lost, we also take this opportunity to recognize and honor those who concluded their service to this institution through resignation or retirement during the past year. Mr. Lloyd Mfeka, who is a former member of this House, who served and resigned in 2024, we still remember him as an alumni of the House. Ms. Doris Mchali, passionately known as Usis Lulu, whose smile would always welcome us as we go to have our lunch, who retired after 30 years of dedicated services in the facilities unit. Ms. Precious Futim Kize, who concluded 27 years of exemplary service as a senior public participation practitioner. Mostly he would be our program director in civic voter education. Ms. Beauty Nomhle Mayeza, who also retired after 14 years of committed service as an administrator within the communications unit. Honorable members, these individuals have each made a meaningful contribution to the success and reputation of this legislature. Through their dedication, professionalism, and commitment to excellence, they have helped shape the institution to what it is today. May we honor the memory of those who have departed, celebrate the service of those who have completed their journey with us, and continue building a legislature worthy of their legacy. Honorable members, during the past financial year, KwaZulu-Natal experienced between 5 and 7 major flood events, as well as 2 to 3 severe cold and snowfall episodes. These disasters are estimated to have claimed between 80 and 100 lives and caused infrastructure damage valued at between 3 billion and 4 billion within communities in eThekwini and Umgungundlovu, among the hardest affected. Beyond the tragic loss of life and livelihoods, these events continue to disrupt service delivery and place significant pressure on limited public resources as funds earmarked for development are redirected towards relief, recovery, and infrastructure rehabilitation. These realities underscore the importance of strengthening oversight over disaster preparedness, climate adaptation, and resilience building initiatives. We must ensure that government plans effectively for climate risk and that communities are better equipped to withstand extreme weather events. We extend our sincere condolences to all families and communities affected by these disasters. But in this regard, honorable members, the legislature acknowledges and commends the leadership of the Honorable Premier, Mr. Thamsanqa Ntuli, and the work of the KwaZulu-Natal Climate Change and Sustainable Development Council in advancing climate resilience, environmental sustainability, and collaborative responses to climate change. Through partnerships across government, municipalities, traditional leadership, and their stakeholders, the province is strengthening its capacity to address the challenges posed by environmental degradation and extreme weather events. We are confident that these efforts will continue to promote a coordinated and sustainable response to climate change in this province. Honorable members, as we move on to the annual opening of the legislature and as well as the address by the royal household, we extend our sincere appreciation to His Majesty King Mrs. Zulu kaZwelithini, the members of the Zulu royal household, and the broader royal family for their continued participation in the annual opening of the KwaZulu-Natal legislature. His Majesty's presence and address, as provided for in Rule 10, Clause 2 of the Standing Rules, continue to enrich this important occasion and reaffirm the deep cultural heritage and traditions of our province. The King's address does not only preserve long-standing traditions, but also reinforces the important role of traditional leadership in promoting social cohesion, cultural preservation, and community development. It affirms the shared responsibility of advancing development, preserving our cultural identity, and promoting social harmony across the province. It further serves as a reminder that democratic governance and traditional institutions share a common responsibility to advance the well-being of the people of KwaZulu-Natal. We further commend the honorable members for the dignity and respect they show whenever His Majesty the King addresses us. Honorable members, we will move to the second theme, which is continuing a legacy. This year, we table a budget speech reflecting on the legacy of 3 definitive milestones in our democratic journey, namely the courageous Women's March on the 9th of August, 1956, the heroic Soweto uprising on the 16th of June, 1976, unyaka omkhulu-ke 1976, and the adoption of our democratic constitution in 1996. These historic events remind us that democracy was built through the sacrifices of women who fought for dignity, the youth who fought for freedom, and leaders who crafted a constitutional order founded on equality, justice, and human rights. Through this budget, the KZN Legislature reaffirms its commitment to advancing gender equality, empowerment of our youth, addressing the plight of marginalized communities, strengthening public participation, and protecting the constitutional values that underpin our democracy. We will continue to bring the legislation enhance oversight and accountability, and ensure that we demonstrate our pursuit of the aspirations of the 1956, 1976, and 1996 generations in our operations in improving the lives of all the people of this province. Their contribution, honorable members, had been deeply entrenched in putting the people of the province first, including these critical moments that the House has contributed, which was contributed to the building of the Grand House that we now have, be it the historic working together of the parties back in 1994 till 2004, the historic movement of the legislature from Ulundi to Pietermaritzburg, the election of the first female speaker to the current dispensation where we have both Speaker and Deputy Speaker being females, as the generations before us have played their roles, and ours is an easy yet important task of upholding their legacy through impactful legislative oversight that ensures an accountable and delivering provincial executive. This we will do to win back the public confidence and revive the dignity of democracy and its representative characteristics. As we continue to pursue public confidence in the work of members and the legislature, our legacy should be on strengthening ethical leadership, impactful lawmaking and oversight, as well as meaningful public participation. This can be achieved by investing in the continuous development of members and employees and embracing innovation, as well as digital transformation that ensures that legislature processes are more efficient, transparent, inclusive, and responsive to the needs of all citizens. By fostering strong constituency work, better partnerships with communities, traditional leadership, and strategic stakeholders, this 7th legislature can leave a positive legacy and enhance public trust in its work. Equally important should be an elaborate preservation and promotion of institutional memory, values and best practices that define the legislature's identity. A culture of accountability, excellence and service is set to be upheld across all levels of the institution. This will entail fast-tracking an institutional review of our work systems that drive the institution's program, as well as efficiently deploying and repurposing our resources as we pursue our outcomes and impacts. It is important to state that as we conduct organizational reviews, the leadership remains committed to the security of employment and remuneration for employees, while we remain compliant to our conditions of services. Repurposing of resources is aimed at creating institutional ability to do more with the legal resources available, and is not about loss of remuneration or employment. This way, we should be able to build the legacy that not only honors our past, but also inspires future generations to uphold and strengthen democratic governance in the province. On constituency work, honorable members, you would remember that last year we committed to focusing on constituency work as one of the tools of building public confidence in the work of the legislature. We are happy to report that the Office of the Chief Whip has pushed more accountability and performance reporting in this area. Our constituency periods have begun to draw reports from individual members through their political parties. We now have evidence that you as honorable members are active and visible in your constituencies. To further strengthen constituency work management, the institution through the Rules Committee will in this year also look at the current constituency allowance policy. We are also leading a sector task team that is looking at establishing sector norms on constituency work. We are taking advantage of this to both set a trend to the country as well as enhance our own constituency work management to ensure that our work in constituencies reflects a genuine connection with communities. As part of constituency work, members should take the opportunity to educate their constituents on current affairs, constitutionality, regional relations, geopolitical and global economy, as well as global warming and the need to conserve our environment. It is through such work that this House will effectively guide public opinion as well as fully reflect the aspirations of our constituencies. Honorable members, the people of KwaZulu-Natal has over the years been influenced by movement of people, ideas and traditions, especially within the SADC region. Immigration is not a new phenomenon, and as such we have a shared heritage within the region, the continent and colonially. It is our responsibility as representatives of the people to lead these public discussions and engagement with both clarity and compassion. Our responsibility is to ensure that migration is managed lawfully, humanly, and in the dignity of every individual, while safeguarding the interests and stability of our communities and the country in general. While we remain vigilant in protecting our laws, we remain also committed to the African Union's intercontinental development goals regarding integration, assimilation, and the building of a cohesive Africa where diversity is respected and unity is strengthened. We must foster inclusion communities where African migrants can legally participate meaningfully in economic, social, and civic life as we pursue values of our country. This requires coordinated efforts, especially at a constituency level. We must invest in appropriate civic education programs and create platforms that encourage effective dialogue and mutual understanding in our communities, and avoiding illegal and unconstitutional reactions to valid public concerns. When integration is done well, it enriches our society, strengthens our economy, and reinforces the spirit of Ubuntu that defines us as Africans. Let us reject narratives that divide us and instead embrace a shared identity rooted in solidarity and cooperation, and importantly, rooted in legality. The challenges associated with migration, such as competition for resources or services or service delivery, must be addressed through policy, planning, and partnership, not prejudice and violence. The legislature has a duty to lead with wisdom and promote peaceful coexistence as we ensure that the province continues to positively contribute to regional and global development goals. The work of our portfolio committees must ensure that the state complies with our migration laws fully, be it through strengthening oversight on our border posts, enforcing employment and business regulations. This should find expression in the work of portfolio committees, particularly those that look at economic development, those that look at community safety, those that look at local government. They must know that they have work and scope there. At the center of this war on illegal migration is enforcement of applicable municipal bylaws. Our portfolio committees must therefore sharpen their oversight on the relevant departments. We must act as a legislature. We have heard the sad voices and anger of our people, and henceforth, through committee work, we have duty to demonstrate that we understand the principal agency relationship that we have with those who elected us. Honorable members, our pursuits of outcomes and impact have led our committees to start reflecting on timely submission of required reports and documents by our executive. Timely submission of reports enables both advisory teams, committees, and the House to effectively scrutinize information, provide informed feedback, and take rational resolutions. We have also seen committees complying with our standing rules regarding the tabling of oversight and FIS reports. The effective execution, honorable members, of the medium-term development project must align with our pursuit of oversight outcome. These projects have been allocated billions of rands to improve quality of life for our people. Poor oversight over these projects should be viewed as a risk to our oversight outcomes. We are encouraged that in the past year, we saw committees reflect on their oversight work in the MTDP project. However, honorable members, we can do more to demonstrate outcomes and impacts of our work. For this reason, in this year, each portfolio committee must look at modalities required to drill into the following: turnaround time for oversight in the House, public inputs and contribution of constituency work in the work of committees, oversight interventions leading to improvements, reduction in repeat audit findings, and implementing AG recommendations, corruption cases identified and addressed timelessly. Honorable members, as we move to public participation, this legislature is one of those leading in public participation programs in the country. However, there's always room for improvement, especially if we were to keep our leadership in this area focused. At our strategic and planning session in March this year, the sector shared with the strategic leadership team its research report on public participation. The report contains recommendations for this legislature that need to be urgently adopted and used to improve our current public participation framework. This review will include enhancing utilization of digital and hybrid participation for platforms to complement our traditional programs, to ensure meaningful citizen engagement in both urban and rural areas across the province by leveraging accessible technologies and multilingual tools. The legislature can enhance inclusivity across the province. Importantly, the need to strengthen community-based engagement and effective feedback loops with citizens cannot be taken for granted. Working more closely with municipalities, traditional leaders, and civil society, we will ensure that participation is rooted at grassroots level and reflective of the province's demographics, diversity, and aspirations. We want also to contribute in strengthening local government. Our portfolio committee on COGTA needs to oversee the effectiveness of the MEC's oversight efforts over municipalities. Focus must be on the MEC's interventions where there are failures to improve performance, accountability, and good governance in the local governance level. By rigorous interrogating reports, budgets, and performance plans presented, we can positively impact on the MEC's targeted efforts to address persistent service delivery challenges in our municipalities. Honorable members, effective oversight over the MEC for COGTA will have to go beyond compliance and focus on measurable outcomes for community. The legislature must ensure that the executive provides adequate support to struggling municipalities, including capacity building, financial management assistance, and the implementation of turnaround strategies. Through at least using Section 47, Section 132, and Section 147 of the MFMA. The Auditor General's latest local government audit outcomes indicate increasing pockets of improvement in municipalities. This, I believe, directly invites us to look on not only the report outcomes, but also on how the lives are improved. The AGSA has indeed made it easier for us through introduction of a layer that speaks to performance. And it must be said that in the 2024-25, only a few who managed to that, including the very fact that there was only one municipality that was found to be doing more than the basics in the entire province. That was Richmond local municipality. While we applaud this municipality, but we want to also say to the MEC and to the rest of the members in the local government sphere, this must be emulated. This is the way that we should be going on from now. We should also point out that it is possible that the complexity and multiplicity of oversight role players on municipalities requires an urgent need for a structured and ongoing stakeholder engagement among all key sectors. As the chairperson of the National Speakers Forum Reference Group on Core Business, I will have to take this conversation forward through the reference group. The oversight ecosystem in municipalities involves many stakeholders, starting from the MEC right up to the NCOP, and they all have to play their role effectively. And this needs a formalized platform for collaborative engagement, which would enable stakeholders to align priorities, share insights, and coordinate oversight activities more effectively. This, honorable members, has been one of the focus areas of the late chairperson of committees, Dr. Mahlaba, in his responsibility. And I believe that we have to take it forward. We are also calling on our other portfolio committees, including the one on economic development, tourism, and environmental affairs, to ensure that these services cannot be left out of interventions required at local government level. We believe that, Shenge, you will not be able to turn around local government if there is no economic and intentional interventions to make municipalities viable. And that should be the work of committees. This House then cannot be an observer in the fight that we need to undertake, which is a fight against poverty and unemployment. And that voice of this House can only be better heard through the work of portfolio committees in following the resolutions of this House. Honorable members, as we move to strengthen the capacity of the legislature, we are happy to report that our efforts to ensure vacant research positions required to support committees continues to bear fruits. As we indicated last year, we do state that 3 additional posts were filled in. These were also allocated. We have also filled in the position of manager facilities under the Security and Services Division. The immediate focus now is the filling of the remaining vacancies in the core business, especially portfolio committee coordinators and including the sergeant at arms. Honorable members, we want to congratulate the members of the House who have been participating in the program of capacity building as led by the Deputy Speaker. We appreciate you, Ngolanyama, on the steadfastness and the important work and of compassion that you are doing in this aspect. As we stand here, 5 of our members who are currently doing, who are doing the advanced certificate in governance and public leadership, and also there are 8 employees of the legislature who are doing master's degrees in the VETS universities. But further, honorable members, employees are also enrolled in the postgraduate diploma in management and public leadership, and there are 5 of them. But there is also the other side, which is the legislature financial assistance, where 4 members, including me, have benefited. 1 has completed her studies, and a further 2 have been granted bursaries for master's degrees in management. Internally, in the year, honorable members, we will be providing short courses, including the sector oversight model, the labor law in practice, ethics, protocol, and all those that are listed. And we depend on the Deputy Speaker. And it's a work that she's carrying on. We are ensured that this House will continue to excel because we are properly armed. We also congratulate the 5 mentioned members who have recently graduated from the VETS members program. We further thank you and recognize the importance of the Deputy Speakers and the unit he is working on in ensuring that we have wellness in the legislature as a workplace. And we continue to hope that whatever has been provided in partnership with your stakeholders, Deputy Speaker, is going to ensure that we turn the institution around to become a team and a collective. We were very happy when on the 10th of June you had the Wellness Day, the last time that we saw Dr. Mahlaba actively participating with all of us in collegiability. We thank the opposition because the order of the House were represented, and that shown that we are a force together. There is no one that is a force on their own. This House is made by the 80 of us. We further congratulate those who participated in the in the Comrades Marathon, both at the level of the employees and also members, besicela simphelezele uDeputy Chief Whip ngokuzayo, othi ama-whip wonke aphuma angene nawo akwazi ukuba abe yingxenye ukuze sikholwe kahle abantu befit. Honorable members, furthermore, there is a private members' bill that seeks to provide for voluntary and not compulsory participation in PAMET, thereby giving members more options to healthcare. We request that members of the House pay to that because it can change the discourse. Many people would want to stand out of the PAMET, but also PAMET should further cover areas that they are not covering so that the choices are wide, especially those that relate to women. Honorable Chairperson, we cannot be silent on what Bafana Bafana did to the South African soccer branch. Before qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the last time Bafana Bafana qualified for a World Cup through the qualification process was for the 2002 FIFA World Cup in South Korea and Japan. In 2010, our team only participated because South Africa was hosting. We found that it was important for us to qualify in the manner that we have qualified. And while we celebrate Bafana Bafana and other standing matters that relate to sport in terms of the Comrades Marathon and other athletics and rugby, we cannot not stand to here and say that our achievement was dampened by the sad passing of one of Bafana Bafana young players, Jaden Adams, who was a promising young man with a bright future in the world of soccer. And the sudden has robbed in Africa of a rising star and a potential future soccer legend. We as a legislatures are parents first. And Jaden's sad passing must not be looked outside the broader challenges facing the youth in our society, and importantly, man and the boy child. We must endeavor through our constitutional responsibilities to prioritize the wellness of all and be intentional with our youth, especially the boy child. Honorable members, we speak on global participation, and we are reminding members that we will continue to be participating in the programs that would come through the CPA, and these platforms that are created by the CPA are designed to strengthen institutional capacity, deepen our understanding of emerging global trends, and reinforce commitment to upholding the highest standards of legislative excellence. So this year, in the CPA, the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature is providing secretariat to the entire South African delegation to Malawi and to Cape Town. So you will spend more than you usually spend because your secretariat is coming from this house. We trust in Obala and her team that they will ensure that there is value. It does not become a tour and a free-for-all. We also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge our partners that represent employees of the legislature. While there were moments when relations were understandable, tense, and challenging, these instances were dealt with in a mature spirit of engagement and a commitment to consultative resolution. We are therefore very thankful to NEHAW, who is the recognized union in this house, for what is happening, especially when it comes to national recognition agreements that relates to their relations with us at a sector level. Honorable members, now coming to the limited resources and provincial budget allocation. While Chairperson, we appreciate that the country's economic performance is not yet where we would have loved it to be, we believe that the legislative sector in general can be better funded. The 2026-27 budget before the House continues to present a fundamental contradiction. We highlighted last year. We will not reiterate it verbatim, but we want you to know that we are still standing on that. The executive is allocated approximately 168.2 billion this year, Honorable Nduli. That's what you have. But the institution that must oversee that is having 894 million. Not 1 billion, not 900 million, 894 million. I don't want to repeat what I said last year, but I want to say that we could do more. And we do not buy into this thing that it's the MEC for finance that is not doing that. Our view is that it's the total executive that needs to understand that oversight is a service delivery. If the executive absolves it of this responsibility, Honorable Premier, rather than looking at the MEC, I know others look at the MEC, I'm looking at the Premier, I'm looking at the 11 members of the executive, and I say to all of you, you need to do good by your house. We request you to look at budgeting and allocation for this institution properly. What we are calling for, Premier, is something that has been done. Gauteng did restore the baseline of Gauteng some few years back. The Eastern Cape restored their baseline because these continuous cuts, Honorable Premier, are pathetic. You, as an executive, in terms of accountability and oversight, we are leaving it before you, honorable members, and the Premier. But should we stop because there is not enough money? No, we will not stop. We shall not view this budget lack of it as a total excuse, but as a continuous call to act smarter, sharper, and more strategic in the year ahead. I promise you that. If you promise to relook at us, we will ensure that we become smarter and more strategic in using the funds. We must also strengthen the committee system in that effort. We are going to strengthen our committees to ensure rigorous follow-up on resolutions and utilize audit outcomes, taking cue from the AG's recommendations. Oversight should not end with an oversight visit, honorable chairpersons of committees and members of the House. It must end with a tangible and measurable improvement in the situation that a committee found when they went there, through bringing in the relevant department to account. This is also the direction that our Standing Committee on Oversight is pushing us to. In next, embrace digital and cost-effective work approaches. Honorable members, you can't be telling us that you can't do oversight remotely. It's 2026, for heaven's sake. That must be done. Being difficult is something else, but if you put your mind in it, you will be doing it. The era of artificial intelligence is on us, and where it enhances efficiency and leads to cost savings, we will need to adapt appropriately to stretch every rand in our purse. That will also be cause for the increase from the executive when we stretch our rents. In our efforts to keep expenditure within budget in the past financial year, we amended our catering policy, wherein both members and employees of the legislature and departmental officials attending our meetings now pay. We also continue to limit the number of officials attending legislature outreach program to save on S&T expenditure. It is times like these that remind us of our Speaker, Lydia Johnson, who taught us that times of scarcity require different policies from the times of plenty. So, honorable members, we are also going deeper in ensuring that you claim appropriately yourselves. You use the hotels provided by the legislature for the work of the legislature. We will also do on digitization what we promised last year, including the digital voting and digital attendance register systems, which have been demonstrated at an administration level. We are currently finalizing the governance roles for both systems in preparation for further demonstration to strategic leadership and later to members. The legislature will, in this ensuing year, roll out digital performance planning and reporting system, as well as a resolution tracking system to both the House and committee. The KZN legislature website is also being revamped to modernize the platform. We are also, as a legislature, improving our cyber security, because as more we use digital platforms, there will be risk. Honorable members, the need to return to the legislature's pre-COVID budget baseline cannot be overstated. Our efforts towards implementing budget top slicing for the legislature and sector must therefore intensify at the sector level. The sector bill and the draft FAMPLA amendments and regulations are going to lead us to that. Furthermore, we are set to enact our own money amendment bill during the financial year, one of the things that Honorable Mahlaba left us with. And we think that we'll do this in this year. We will also working on the sector bill as well as the SCM and policy and political party funding regulations, which needs to be reviewed in line with the law. We are also, honorable members, increasing the call to be steadfast on implementing gender equality and inclusion, especially and particularly for the LGBTQIA+ sector. We are speaking on the social responsibility. We are thankful that in the leg that we have partners, and the programs that are designed for speakers' social responsibility are enhancing our oversight and visibility. There is a program that has, in this term, spread its wing to touch even the lives of the single mothers. We thank you, the Deputy Speaker, for driving that program, amongst the other programs that she is driving. We are also, honorable members, saying to you, strong governance is a prerequisite to effective execution of our mandate. Strong controls don't only facilitate performance, but also protect institutional resources. So we will continue in this honor to ensure that we stick to the budget, and also we use it within that governance environment that we have in place. I will now move on to the budget, Honorable Chairperson. I present before you the 2026-27 budget as supported by the Standing Committee on Oversight, and we are thankful and grateful to the clarity and insight that is forever provided by the Honorable de Klerk as the Chairperson of the Standing Committee on Oversight. The programs that we put forward are as follows. On administration, we have that 278, parliamentary business 511, members' remuneration 103. Which gives us the 894,413,000. And the economic classification follows. We thank you, honorable members, for being part of dealing with the preparation for today's budget. And we need your support for this budget. If we are to effectively execute our 26-27 annual performance plan, we are committed to an efficient and transparent utilization of this limited budget. I conclude by appreciating the strong support and leadership of dedicated members of the strategic leadership, the Deputy Speaker, the Office of Chairperson of Committees, Office of the Chief Whip, political party leaders, particularly the opposition, Office of the Secretary, and the management and administration in its entirety. I also appreciate my family and my children. Thank you for the constant support and your understanding, for I am a parent that is forever absent. To the Lord Almighty, I am grateful for the grace that has always been sufficient for guiding me through the journey. That same grace is the one that gave us leadership of the Secretariat as led by Ms. Naidu and the entire team. Thank you. That same grace has further gave me a political home and leadership that bestowed the task of leading the ANC in this particular position. I am grateful to the ANC for the democracy, the rules that guide us in this house, the Constitution that remains a fountain of never-ending strength, protection, and wisdom in the middle of confusion. The Constitution that is turning 30 years this year remains a symbol of hope to all, including all of you women in politics. You have the Constitution of this country to protect you. Thank you.
We thank order members. We thank the Honorable Speaker for the report she has presented. We now move on and ask Honorable H.J. de Klerk to deliver a report of Starkov for 10 minutes. Over to you, Mr. Nash.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. This report represents the committee's views of the meeting held on the 19th of May 2026, where the Standing Committee on Oversight considered reports and presentations relating to the 26-27 budget for those years and the annual performance plans. The resultant draft annual oversight plan and the related institutional performance matters. 2026-27 budget, the preparation highlighted the following. The Legislature budget allocation for the 26-27 financial years is 894 million, reflecting a 0.4 increase from the previous year. The budget is allocated as follows. Administration with the decrease of 6.2 million, that is 275 million. Parliamentary business, an increase of 3.5 million, 3.5%, that is 511 million. Members' remuneration, an increase of 4.6, that is 103 million. By economic classification, an increase of 0.4%, that is 894 million. Political parties allowances, MKP 101 million, IFP 41 million, ANC 38 million, DA 30 million, and EFF 6 million, and the NFP 3 million. The committee considered the budget positions of the legislator, including expenditure trends, cost containment measures, and pressure that may affect the institutional ability to fulfill its constitutional mandate. Members emphasized that budget constraints should not undermine the effective oversight, the committee work and function of the legislator. The committee noted that ongoing cost containment measures and emphasized the implementation of these measures until the situation improves, with the ongoing engagement with Treasury for better funding of the legislator. While members acknowledged the importance of careful financial management, concerns were raised that prolonged reliance on virtual meetings may weaken the effectiveness of the committee, particularly given the strategic oversight role. Members further raised concerns regarding...
Honourable members, Honourable Fraser. Continue.
Thank you, Chair. Members further raised concerns regarding the implementation of measures affecting member support, inclusive of meals and related cost items. The committee stressed that the need for proper consultation and clear communication on any cost-saving intervention before implementation, so that affected members and caucuses are adequately informed before the policy gets implemented. The 2026-27 annual performance plan, the performance targets were presented and adopted, wherein the key strategic planning elements, including the logic framework, strategic pillars, vision and mission statements, legislative value propositions, and strategic implementation projects were outlined. The annual oversight plan, the presentation identified priority oversight areas for the financial year, including a focus on the digitization of the KZN legislator. Reviewing constituency work management framework, including formulating a policy position on regalia during constituency work. A review on the legislator public participation framework, and emphasis on the outcome and impacts in committee work. Filling of critical vacancies based on available budget, proper presentation of annual financial statements, effective implementation of cost containment measures, and the Auditor General's recommendations, as well as elimination of irregular, unauthorized, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. There were two resolutions. Resolution 4 of 26, the dress code during constituency work. The committee noted uncertainty regarding the appropriate dress of legislative constituency work as opposed to political constituency activities, the committee resolved that a report must be submitted to the committee on the wearing of political regalia while members are performing legislative constituency work. Resolution 5. The committee notes the continued inefficient budget allocation to vote number 2, provincial legislator. While it is noted that there was an increase in the 26-27 allocation, the legislature is not adequately funded to undertake its constitutional mandate. The legislature and Treasury continues with engagement that will lead to proper funding of vote number 2. The committee noted that with appreciation that the MEC for Finance has tabled the unauthorized expenditure bill, which was subsequently referred to the Standing Committee on Oversight. The committee will initiate all necessary processes to consider and pass the bill. In conclusion, the institution continues to face budget constraints. All committees are therefore requested to use their budget prudently and implement savings measures wherever possible until the financial situation improves. I also wish to express sincere appreciation to the committee members, presiding officers, secretary, management, and support staff of the KZN legislature for the support and contribution in ensuring that the committee fulfills its mandate. Appreciation is also extended to the staff of Treasury for their guidance and consistent attendance at committee meetings. This is the report. I can place on record that this report includes all the issues that was raised by the opposition, and it forms part of this report. I am sure that because that is included, everybody will support this report. Thank you very much.
We thank Honourable de Klerk. We now move to the debate part of the order paper. We'd like to call upon Honourable SP Jimbata from the MK Party to debate for 12 minutes. Over to him, finish.
Honourable Speaker, Ms. Boyce, Deputy Speaker, Ms. Tembe, or members of the executive led by the Premier, ATN, or members of Umkhonto Sizwe, Sanbonan, I rise on behalf of Umkhonto Sizwe Party to respond on the Starkov report. The report tells us that 21 of the 22 annual APP targets were due and that all 21 were achieved. Internal audit confirmed the first 3 quarters without findings, and the Auditor General raised no material findings in the previous financial year. Kobe, the executive, iyafunda kuwe Speaker ukuthi izinto zenziwa kanjani. We also acknowledge the work by the Office of the Speaker and her officials who produced that work. But an African legislature cannot be satisfied merely because every box has been ticked. A report matters only when it changes the condition of the people. When the legislature lack equipment, security and technology, oversight itself is weakened. The APP calls this institution an activist, people-centered legislature. And an activist legislature is not one that produces many documents. It is one whose documents make an executive uncomfortable and make the people visible. Probably, Honourable Speaker, through you, Chair, maybe in this, we need to visit our Constitution and maybe our standing rules to say when one becomes the Speaker of the legislature, cease to be a member of a political party. That will make things much easier and better because there will be a proper balance in everything that is happening. But let me then move away and deal with something or with an elephant in the room. Well, the statement that I've just made, it requires people who will think deeper why I'm saying that. Honourable Chair and members, I now turn to the Democratic Alliance and its MEC for Finance, Mr. Rogers. During the Vote 6 debate, Mr. Rogers praised former MECs in Akronye,
Honourable
Belinda
Mbata.
Scott, and associated them.
Honourable Mbata,
Chair.
don't call a member Mr. Rogers. You know how to call a member. Don't refer, no, it didn't, I know what he said. Just call him properly according to the standing rules. Refer to him according to
Honorable MEC or Waga Finance
Thank you.
spoke about former MEC in Akronye and Belinda Scott and associated them or their performance with a pale complexion while gesturing towards his face. Yet, former MEC Umampeki Nkonyeni, a black African woman who occupied that office, suddenly vanished from his political memory. Perhaps, Chair, the DA has discovered a new school of economics, complexion economics. Perhaps Treasury must now issue a circular stating that budget balance more easily when handled by the pale hands. Perhaps the PFMA contains a secret annexure declaring that fiscal discipline rises as melanin fades. Perhaps the DA must establish a new Department of Complexion Affairs to determine which shade of skin qualifies a person to manage public money. And perhaps Umampeki Nkonyeni was omitted because she did not meet the DA's preferred color specification. This would be amusing where philosophy beneath it not so dangerous. The DA always speaks about merit. Very well, let's discuss merit. Bring the audit outcomes, bring the budgets, bring the revenue performance, bring expenditure control, bring the reforms introduced by every former MEC, bring their achievement and their failures, but do not make a mistake of bringing color into the balance sheet. Paleness, Mr. Rogers, Honorable Rogers, is not an audit opinion. Blackness is not an irregular expenditure. Melanin is not a fiscal risk. And whiteness is not a qualification. The DA repeats that it is a non-racial so often that one begins to suspect that the party is still trying to convince itself. Its non-racialism is strangely flexible. When black people speaks about racial injustice, the Democratic Alliance speaks about stop seeing color. But when one of its MECs praises pale complexion, color suddenly becomes worthy of recognition. When African demands transformation, the DA calls it racial politics. But when white leadership is presented as natural home of competence, we are expected to sit quietly and applaud. What a convenient principle. The DA's non-racialism is like a courtroom in which black people are always permitted to enter, but mainly as accused. Honorable Chair, the deeper issue is not only that Umampeki Nkonyeni was omitted. The issue is the old belief hiding beneath that omission that African leadership is temporary, while white supervision is permanent. Colonialism told African, you may work, but you may not own. Apartheid told African, you may serve, but you may not govern. Modern paternalism tells African, you may govern, but somebody pale may remain nearby to confirm that you are competent. We reject that thinking. We are not Polkan miners, Mr. Rogers, Honorable. We are not apprentices in our own country. We are not visitors in institutions built through the labor and taxes of our people. White South Africans belong in our...
Honorable Mbata, address the Norway's Tula. Just address the Honorable MC through me. Tula and finish.
We are not visitors in institutions built through the labor and taxes of African people. While South Africans belong in our common future as equal citizens. But equality does not mean permanent white guardianship over African leadership. Participation is welcome, supervision is not. Cooperation is welcome, racial certification is not. In the spirit of the African Legislature's thought book, I put it this way: freedom remains unfinished when African occupies the office but still waits for the former master to confirm that he is fit to sit behind the desk. That is the deeper struggle. For generations, Africa was forced to explain herself through European categories. Our systems of governance were called primitive until Europeans translated them. Our philosophy was dismissed as superstitions until universities repackaged it. Our knowledge of land, justice, community was ignored until the same ideas returned wearing academic gowns. Yet Africa governs civilizations. You are talking about the Nile civilization, the Horn of Africa, the Red Sea civilization, the Southern African stone building civilization that includes the Mapungube, Great Zimbabwe, Kam, etc. Kingdoms, the Zulu kingdom, the Swazi, the Sotho, etc. Federations, clans, and communities long before colonial administrators arrived carrying maps of the land they did not own. We had indigenous laws, we had diplomacy, we had trade, we had agriculture, we had systems of accountability and social order. Colonialism did not discover African intelligence. It interrupted African confidence. Apartheid did not prove African incompetence. It manufactured African exclusion. It denied us land, capital, ownership, and education. This is just a warning to the government of provincial unity. Continue being in bed with colonialists, you'll see what will happen. People will reject you. Then it pointed to poverty it had created and called that poverty evidence of our inability. That was the trick. Create the wound, then accuse the wounded of weakness. We are not weak as black skin. Therefore, when a senior political leader introduces pale complexion into a discussion about competence, we do not hear an innocent joke. We hear the echo of old doctrine which claim that order is white and failure is black. Honorable Rogers, through you, Chair, the African was apparently competent enough to build the mines, railways, farms, cities of this country, but suddenly became incompetent when demanding ownership and control. We were competent enough to produce wealth, but not to own it. Competent enough to follow instructions, but not to issue them. Competent enough to pay taxes, but apparently not competent enough to manage treasury. That contradiction has expired. The people of this province did not appoint the Democratic Alliance as the racial quality control department of this province. The DA must stop behaving like a permanent headmaster of African intelligence. It must stop entering every political discussion carrying a red pen, waiting to grade whether we are doing good or bad. We do not require the pale approval to confirm that we can think. We think we are black, but we can think. Mr. Honorable Rogers. But let me be equally firm with our own side. This is not an argument that every black leader is competent. That would be lazy, dishonest, and dangerous. African leadership must study. It must understand budgets. It must reject corruption. It must build institutions that works. It must account to the people. A leader does not lead in silos. Therefore, an African leader who steals from the people, ignores the people, or governs carelessly cannot hide behind blackness. We cannot oppose white supremacy and then protect black mediocrity. As I learned, Honorable Chair, the DA must answer one simple question. Does it believe that competence has color? If the answer is no, Honorable Rogers must withdraw the racial implication of his remarks and apologize. I thank you.
Order. 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 Order, members. Honorable Kakwai. Order. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order. Honorable Ngwabo. Honorable Ngwabo. Order, honorable members. Order. Honorable Seme. Honorable Ngwabo, stand up. Stand up, Honorable Ngwabo, stand up. Stand up. Withdraw what you've just said. She knows what she said. Withdraw it.
Honorable Chair, I withdraw ukuthi baba sabana belungu.
No, you're not withdrawing when you're doing that. I say withdraw. No, you have not withdrawn. Withdraw properly. Honorable Ngobo, stand up. You don't withdraw like that. You withdraw unconditionally.
Honorable Sihlalo, I withdraw.
Okay, thanks. Order, honorable members. Let's proceed. We asked, no, Honorable Makubane, don't. We asked the Honorable MP Kuala to participate in the debate on behalf of the IFP for 6 minutes.
Honorable Chairperson of committees,
Just hold on, Honorable. What are you rising on, Honorable Mabaso?
Ngicela ukucelela usasuba uchange nomphela.
Out of order. Out of order. Out of order. Okay, honorable members. We ask Honorable MP Kuala to participate in the debate for 6 minutes on behalf of the IFP. Over to you, Mr. Nish.
Honorable Chairperson of committees, the Honorable Premier of our province, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Leader of Government Business, Honorable MSCs, and also Leader of the official opposition, Honorable Members, Secretary of the Legislature, Honorable Chairperson, and Honorable Members of the Starkov Committee. It is an undisputed fact that the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature has 3 constitutional pillars upon which its work is founded: lawmaking, oversight, and public participation. These are not merely statutory obligations. They are the instrument through which we strengthen democracy, promote accountability, and improve the lives of the people we serve. If we are serious about building a safer, more prosperous, and more inclusive KwaZulu-Natal, then we must adopt a whole of society approach. Equally, the legislature must fully exercise its constitutional mandate to create an environment where sustainable development and economic growth can flourish. Achieving this requires 3 essential foundations. First, unwavering respect for the rule of law. Second, a culture of accountability where every public representative and public servant accept responsibility for their actions. And third, a capable, ethical, and caring state that delivers services efficiently, transparently, and with value for every rand entrusted to it by the people. Chairperson of committees, effective service delivery demands a legislature that is responsive, agile, and accessible. We therefore encourage greater legislative innovation through increased support for private members' bill, committee bills, and cabinet bills. The role of the legislature should be strengthened to facilitate timely legislative processes while ensuring that our budgetary planning provides adequate resources to support these initiatives in a sustainable and a well-managed manner. The success of this institution cannot rest solely on the shoulders of one political party or one committee. It depends on the collective commitment of every member of this House. While political differences are both inevitable and healthy in a democratic society, they should never undermine the dignity, integrity, and effectiveness of this legislature. Robust debate must always be balanced with mutual respect and a shared commitment to advancing the interest of the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Chairperson of committees, the prudent management of public resources remains one of the legislature's most important responsibilities. We therefore call on this institution to continue fostering a culture of financial discipline and responsible stewardship among all its officials and members. This commitment should not end with these walls. It must become the standard across all provincial departments and indeed throughout every sphere of government. I wish to express our appreciation for the cordial relationship between the executive and the legislature through the leader of government business, Honorable Siboniso Duma, and myself as the chief whip of the KZN legislature. As the IFP, Inkatha Freedom Party, we recognize the difficult fiscal environment facing our country. We understand that budget reductions have become an unavoidable reality for national and provincial departments alike. However, constrained budget cannot become an excuse for diminished accountability or poor service delivery. Instead, they should inspire greater innovation, stricter financial discipline, and a renewed focus on ensuring that every public rand is spent wisely and delivers measurable value to our communities. Then I'll come back, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Honorable Kwala. We now ask Honorable SGS Mavimbela on behalf of the ANC to debate for 4 minutes. Over to you, Mhlonishwa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. The African National Congress, through its profound foresight and revolutionary wisdom, has transformed this institution from being historically designed to exclude the voice of the majority into a vibrant pillar of our constitutional democracy, an activist, people-centered legislature in which the aspiration of our people find expression. The executive is held to account, public resources are subjected to rigorous scrutiny, and the constitutional that the people shall govern is given practical meaning. This transformation did not happen by accident. It is a product of the deliberate democratic project led by the ANC to dismantle institutions that once existed, to legislate oppression and reconstruct them as instruments that serve the people. Today, we stand in KwaZulu-Natal Legislature that belong to all people of this province, an institution that carries the enormous responsibility of ensuring that the billions of rands appropriated by this House ultimately translate into better schools, functioning health facilities, quality infrastructure, safer communities, and the improved quality of life for our people. That is the institution the ANC has worked to build. That is the institution we are proud to lead. And that is the institution whose capacity we must continue to strengthen and defend. It is from this standpoint that the ANC support budget vote to and its allocation approximately 781 million for this financial year. We must, however, be equally emphatic that the appropriation available to this institution remain constrained when measured against the magnitude of the constitutional mandate and the increasingly demands placed upon members, committees, and administration. The legislature must scrutinize the expenditure and performance of the entire provincial government. It must conduct oversight, process legislation, facilitate meaningful public participation, take democracy directly to the communities, and ensure that the decision and resolution of this House are acted upon. We cannot continuously demand stronger oversight and greater accountability while progressively constrain the institution constitutionally mandated to deliver them. Despite these pressures, honorable members, this ANC-led legislature, under the capable leadership of Honorable Nontembeko Boyce, our Speaker, continues to demonstrate what a capable and committed democratic institution can achieve. Through the school functionality monitoring program, members have gone directly to the schools across KwaZulu-Natal to assess the condition under which teaching and learning take place. Through portfolio committee oversight visit, this legislature has inspected healthcare facilities, road infrastructure projects, and other points of service delivery, not relying merely on what is written in departmental reports, but going directly to the ground, establishing whether public expenditure is producing the results promised to our people. Through SCOPA, accounting offices are subjected to rigorous scrutiny on audit findings, irregular expenditure, and weaknesses in financial management. Through the Financial Portfolio Committee, provincial budget expenditure are interrogated. The ANC supports this budget. Thank you so much, Chairperson.
Thanks, Honorable Mavimbela. We now ask the Honorable Aikika to participate in the debate for 8 minutes on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Over to you, Felicia.
Chairperson, we have recognized the immense work of the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, Madam Secretary, and the entire teams. Time and time again, they go beyond stretching their budget and continue to achieve repeated clean audits. Well done to them. We welcome all the programs and improvements that the Speaker announced today, and to quote her, smarter, sharper, and more effective. Chairperson, this GPU works. Chair, the honorable members of this House have a duty to give effect to the word honorable. This means embodying the qualities of honesty, humility in leadership, good common sense, and importantly, integrity, amongst other qualities. When we refer to each other as honorable, it means that the House presumes every member behaves honorably unless proven otherwise. that members are entitled to courtesy irrespective of their political differences and views, and that debate should remain respectful at all times. Disagreement, wherever it is, should be reflected in principle rather than the opposite, except, of course, where a member is grossly violating the rules of the House. We therefore refer to each other as honorable members because it discourages personal attacks. It reminds members that they are debating as in public office and public office bearers. It protects the dignity of this House. It requires that members address their remarks through the presiding officer, and that is why that rule exists in our rule book. Yet on the 15th of December last year, the very meaning of honorable collapsed. There was a refusal to obey the presiding officer. Proceedings had to be suspended. There was serious disorder. There were physical altercations. The speaker was assaulted. Then the police entered this chamber. Then, last week, there were echoes of this again when physical violence was threatened between members on both sides of this House. Last Friday, during the health budget debate, members were heard telling me to go to Pakistan. Yes, I work there and I live there, but their bigotry knows no bounds. Then Honorable Beam Kize, during last week's public works debate, said that when the MK is done with African foreigners, white South Africans would be next. Zuma's party turned this House into a platform where bigotry, intimidation, and division are treated as acceptable forms of debate and political discourse. At a recent WIPS forum, the WIPS of the Zuma party delayed the proceedings for 20 minutes because they could not remember that they had agreed to the programming committee's program in December last year. At another WIPS forum, listen to this. We learned that a member had applied for a driver. The honorable member submitted 2 independent medical reports of their own choosing, claiming poor eyesight and painful ankles, preventing them from driving. Yet an independent assessment by the legislature doctors found that the member had 20/20 vision and only needed Panado for the painful ankles. After considerable cost to the legislature, wasting money that we can use for oversight, the issue that must now be tackled is to order travel costs, because it can't be that members who reside in the Tegwini area claim the same amount as I claim from traveling from Newcastle to here. The DA will also insist on a list of no-shows. There are members who sit on that side of the House, especially, who book accommodation and then don't arrive for meetings.
Honorable Kika, just wait. Don't drown the speaker. Don't drown the speaker. Continue.
Zuma's party currently receives an annual allowance of just over 101 million rands. Of this, 91 million rands is for their constituency allowance.
Correct. There is nothing like Zuma's party.
Now, but you are, my time is going there, Chair.
Just hold the time. Right, no, I'm correcting that, Honorable Makubane. Don't refer to the MKP as Zuma's party. We don't know that party.
If I make a mistake, I'll correct it. Of this 91 million rand for constituency allowance, yet they cannot even pay for their offices to stay open. They have 5 million rand plus for research, yet the Honorable Dirks abused the privilege of the podium last week by lying about the Umgeni municipality polluting our rivers. With their constituency offices locked up, it is true that they can't research and can't find facts. The MKP cannot verify even the very basic facts. Lies and insults have become their substitute for research. When you cannot run your own offices, you have no business asking the people of KwaZulu-Natal to give you the opportunity to run the province. Considering all of this, one must begin to wonder whether there is any truth in Floyd's aversion that some 7 million rand a month was taken from their cookie jar. I was going to say Zuma's party, but the MK's plan to secure as many drivers for themselves as possible was scuppered by due process, or shall their skullduggery be further investigated? The whippery of the opposition remains limping, and I must say this metaphorically. Some of their whips are like the erections of teenage boys. They rise frequently for no apparent reason and have no useful purpose. This is why the Honorable Mbata's contribution about what he thinks was said versus what was actually said requires a careful listening skill. You must start listening and not imagining what was said, and stop manufacturing outrage where there is no outrage. Now, their whips are not committed to assisting the presiding officer, and their whips do not assist to maintain the decorum of this House. We have seen it throughout the entire week. Chairperson, this is not honorable conduct. It is precisely the opposite of what this House expects of honorable members. Democracy is not simply about winning elections. It is about submitting to the rules. No member, no political party, and no majority is above the rules and above the rule of law. We may disagree with rulings, we may disagree in this House, but that does not entitle us to defy the presiding officers. We challenge rulings through the rules of the legislature, not through intimidation, disruption, and disorder. The moment we choose which rules to obey, we cease to defend democracy and we begin to undermine the institution itself. Titles do not command respect. Conduct does. The privilege of being called honorable carries with it a duty to uphold the rules, protect the dignity of this House, and strengthen our constitutional democracy. Anything less diminishes this institution and those who have been elected to serve here. The Democratic Alliance remains steadfast in its commitment to building a capable, ethical, and very importantly, a caring state in which the rule of law is supreme, accountability is non-negotiable, and the integrity of this House is expected of every public representative.
Honorable Sam, stand up. Stand up. Honorable Kasa and Honorable Sam, stand up. Honorable Kasa and Honorable Sam, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. No, don't. No. Honorable Sam, withdraw the cease that you're saying. Withdraw what you said, Honorable Sam. Cease what you said. Withdraw, Honorable Sam.
Chairperson, you also said sis.
I say withdraw it.
Oh, sis, I withdraw sis.
No, don't make me fool. I say withdraw it.
I was not on record, but I was on the chair.
I heard you. Withdraw it.
Okay, Chair, I withdraw sis.
Okay. Honorable Kasa, don't be disruptive. Don't be disruptive. Don't be disruptive. Sit down. No, okay, honorable members. Order. Let's continue. We now ask Honorable CM Shinga, on behalf of the NFP, to participate in the debate for 4 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Order. Can you just give somebody on the floor the opportunity to debate by not drowning the speaker? Over to you, Msonish.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Greetings, the Honorable Speaker and the Honorable Deputy Speaker of the KZN Legislature, Honorable Premier, the Honorable Members of the Executive, Honorable Members. I join the Honorable Members in debating vote 2. The National Freedom Party approaches this debate with the understanding that we are not discussing the budget of another provincial institution. We are debating the budget of the constitutional institution entrusted with protecting democracy, strengthening accountability, and ensuring that every department represented before this House remains answerable to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. The legislature is the institutional conscious of the provincial government. It is here that the laws are made. It is here that the executive accounts. It is here that communities participate in democratic governance. It is here that public money receives democratic scrutiny before it is spent. When the legislature performs its constitutional responsibilities effectively, government becomes stronger. When the legislature is weakened, accountability weakens with it, and ultimately it is the people who suffer the consequences. Honorable Chairperson, the National Freedom Party believes that the next chapter of this legislature must be defined by implementation-based oversight. For too long, legislatures across the country have often measured success by activity rather than outcomes. We should no longer ask only how many committee meetings were held. We should ask how many recommendations were implemented. We should no longer celebrate the number of oversight visits undertaken. We should determine whether those visits resulted in better schools, stronger hospitals, improved infrastructure, and more responsive government. Honorable Chairperson, departments should know that when this legislature makes recommendations, implementation will continue to be monitored until measurable progress is achieved. This is how oversight produces confidence in democratic institutions. The legislature must also continue investing in its members. We are pleased by the report tabled by the Honorable Speaker today. Legislators today are expected to understand constitutional laws, public finance, artificial intelligence, climate governance, digital transformation, economic policy, and increasingly complex legislative framework. Continuous professional development should therefore become a permanent institutional priority. A better equipped member becomes a better legislator. The continued development of constituency offices, public hearings, and digital participation, including e-petitioning, provides an important opportunity to deepen democracy and ensure that citizens remain active participants in the legislative process throughout the year. We applaud the KZN legislature for this. Every resident of the KZN should know that they have the constitutional right to petition this legislature, to participate in lawmaking, and to influence decisions affecting communities. Honorable Chairperson, this institution must equally continue strengthening parliamentary diplomacy. Our participation within the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, the Association of Public Account Committees, and other parliamentary forums should never be a ceremonial.
Thanks, Honorable Member.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu, Staff.
We now ask Honorable M.W. Twala on behalf of Economic Freedom Fighters to participate in the debate for 4 minutes. Over to you, Mr.
Honorable Premier, Leader of Government Business, Nkosi Uqhiliza, the Chief Whip of the Opposition, my Deputy Chair, the Whip of the EFF and the minorities, Nomoyo, who went for a jugular. Honorable Premier, Honorable Speaker, I'm sure what I'm going to propose won't need any private member's bill. Honorable Moyo.
Okay.
I'm sure what I'm going to raise and propose, it won't need any private member's bill. But I'm advocating for that this House, in honor of Honorable Mahlaba, names the school functionality program as Dr. Mahlaba School Functionality Program. He loved education. Dr. Mahlaba loved education. He also loved the downtrodden. If we still have apartheid symbols outside here, reminding us of our painful past, why not honor the gallant force who has fallen, Dr. Mahlaba? Honorable Speaker, unfortunately, as the EFF, we reject this budget. We reject it because this House cannot be asked to perform a constitutional mandate with insufficient resources, then be expected to celebrate the insufficiency as fiscal discipline. The report itself confirms a budget of 894 million, with an increase of only 0.4% from previous financial year. In reality, 0.4% is not growth. It is a polite instruction to do more with less. Vote 2 remains insufficiently funded. It also tells us that the legislature is adequately underfunded, but it's expected to undertake its constitutional mandate. That is a central contradiction of this debate. We are being asked to approve a budget that the Oversight Committee effectively describes as inadequate. Honorable Speaker, this debate has created a strange political theater within the GPU. The Speaker knows that the legislature needs more money because she carries the responsibility of this institution every day. The ANC knows this budget is too thin because its own Speaker must now preside over an underfunded legislature. The DA knows oversight needs resources because the DA is the one that always lectures us about accountability every day. But its own MEC has given a watchdog a budget that is so thin and is keeping this watchdog very hungry. The very chair from within the GPU has already told us that it is not adequately funded to take this institution to greater heights. So what are we expected to do today? Must we pretend that the Speaker is satisfied when the report says the institution is underfunded? Must we pretend that the DA believes in oversight and it continues to staff this institution? Must we pretend that the ANC is defending this legislature when it's accepting a budget that weakens the office of its own Speaker? Must we pretend that the IFP can diagnose the problem in Starkov, then help the GPU swallow the same problem in the House? Who is exactly fooling who here? The ANC is uncomfortable. The DA is exposed. The IFP has written the evidence, and now the GPU wants the opposition to join the. We vehemently refuse.
We thank Honorable Twala. We thank Honorable Twala. We now ask Honorable CQ Madropa on behalf of the ANC to participate in the debate for 4 minutes. Over to you,
Honorable Premier, Honorable Mtombeni, Honorable MECs, all the MECs present, Honorable members. This year, South Africa marked 30 years of our constitution, democratic constitution, 50 years of the struggle of young people, and 70 years of the Women's March of 1956. These milestones tell the story of a nation transformed, a society where a majority were denied voice and Black women endured the compounded oppression of race, class, and gender, to a democracy where women deployed by the African National Congress in the legislature of KwaZulu-Natal, in the NCOP, as well as in the National Assembly as speakers. This legislature itself bears witness to the journey from the political complexity of 1994 to its historical relocation from Ulundi to Pietermaritzburg, to the election of its first women speaker, and today the legislature is led by both a women speaker and a deputy speaker, which is a milestone in the history of our country. The task of the 7th legislature, therefore, cannot merely be an inherent this extraordinary democratic legacy. It must deepen it, and supporting the budget means that investing in the main institution of the legislature is that all the work that is being done by the legislature will also change the life of our communities, because they are responsible for playing oversight and make sure that public participation are taking place. Having said that, Honorable Chair, but we are saying that this legislature that we are in today is not suitable for this work that the legislature is supposed to do. This legislature took a resolution to say that we must have a legislature precinct that must be built, that is delaying. And we don't know, Honorable Speaker, how are we going to deal with the work of the legislature? We will talk about public participation. If you say public participation, can you call the public to this legislature that we are in today? I think these are some of the things that we must look very closely. It is with this democratic tradition that the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal continues to advance its vision of an activist and people-centered legislature. For the ANC, democracy has never meant that citizens must vote once every 5 years, and then after that, they become the spectators in the governance of their own country. The people must remain active participants in shaping the decisions that affect the lives of our people, and institutions of democracy must continuously create the platforms through which their voices can be heard. It is this reason that the ANC welcomes the continued emphasis in regard to the public participation, civic education. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. The African National Congress supports this budget. Thank you.
Thanks, Honorable Malopa. We now ask Honorable S.S. Makubane on behalf of the MK Party to participate in the debate for 12 minutes. Over to you, Mr.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Demand greetings to the honorable members in the House. Nkosi Ndabezithu Chiliza, Dunankulu wesizwe sakithi KwaZulu, Chief Whip Opposition Madlogofu, Party Leader of the EFF, Bengalele Executive no Premier, members of the Legislature, I greet you all, and members in the gallery. Honorable Chair, it is deeply concerning for a doctor and an honorable member of this House to come here and discuss private medical conditions of other members in front of us here. Honorable Chief Whip of the Legislature, we agreed in the Whips Forum that we will never at any time discuss medical conditions of members, even ourselves in the committee. It's a disgrace that when one wants to please his bosses, the whites, he comes here and discuss medical conditions of other members. It's a disgrace. And the DA, Honorable Chair, must learn to mind and focus on fixing their own political backyards. instead of trespassing and talk about our constituency fund. It's look like it's jealousy because we got a lot of money as MK Party and then they got nothing. There's jealousy now in between. It's our money. We are the ones who are going to determine what to do with it. We've got nothing to do with that money. Honorable Chair, when one is trying to please the whites, he thinks he's white as well. Honorable Mkhize perfectly stated on the Public Works Committee debate. He perfectly stated a simple statement. He said, when KwaZulu-Natal is done with illegal African immigrants, if they are dealt with, once they are done, we must embark on dealing with illegal white immigrants. So now when one is trying to please their bosses, now changes the statements, as if Honorable Mkhize spoke about the South African whites. He did not speak about the South African whites. He spoke about the illegal ones, including those that are sitting with Helen Zille in Cape Town. The honorable member, honorable Chair, the honorable member comes to the podium here, deliberates on behalf of a mayor of Umgeni in the legislature about the statements that were made by a legislature member. He comes and responds on behalf of somebody who's outside this house. Chris Papas mustn't worry about what Honorable Dex said. He mustn't worry about that. What he must worry about is it on the 5th of November, MK Party will be governing Umgeni. That's what he must worry about. That is what he must worry about. Not what you are worrying about.
Just hold. Honorable Kasa. Honorable Seme. No. Just wait, please. Continue. No, just wait.
So
continue.
that I'm not disturbed on my speech for today. Right. Let me continue, Honorable Chair. Madam Speaker, you have tried to level best on this legislature. We welcome and we applaud you for your performance with your executive. Today, as Umkhonto weSizwe, we rise to debate the budget of this very important sphere of government, which is the heart of accountability, transparency, and the constitutional governance of the province of KZN. With the Standing Committee on Oversight, which is the oversight mechanism envisaged from FAMPLA as the main committee that oversees the work of the legislature. It is well known that the main KZN appropriation bill covers a total provincial budget of nearly 161 billion, with the largest portion of it going to the big departments such as health, education, transport, and social development departments. And the legislature just received a minor portion of 894 million. The budget also pays the daily running of this parliament. It pays salaries of the members of this house, as well as the party fundings that goes to each party that is represented in this house. It also funds public participation programs that allow citizens to share their views on proposed laws through public hearings and debates across the province of KwaZulu-Natal to ensure that money is spent wisely and in a fairly, and as we all know, that the budget is not enough. Therefore, we as Umkhonto weSizwe stand firm on our position that this budget is not enough, so we're not going to support it. Looking on the geographical spread of KwaZulu-Natal, and also looking at the traveling costs incurred by this house on the work that it's supposed to do, this budget won't cover the province. Even when you compare it with a province that has got only 4 districts, which is Gauteng, this budget of this province is not enough. As a result, of all what I've said, the budget cuts of many departments, including the budget cuts of the legislature, can't be part, Umkhonto weSizwe can't be part of that voting and vote in favor of the budget that is not enough for all departments and the legislature as well. Sorry, we're not going to be part of it. In June this year, Honorable Chair, the DAMEC presented to Stakov and Scopa a second unauthorized authorization bill of 2026, which revealed that both departments of health and education collectively incurred over 1 billion of historical unauthorized expenditure, which was a result of budget cuts in some of those unauthorized expenditure. Due to this systemic violation, the Public Finance Management Act, SCOPA instructed that both Department Education and Health must pay back the money to the provincial treasurer. And we as Umkhonto weSizwe, first thing as the Stakov members, we said Stakov is the main committee that scrutinizes all the reports and the financial statements. Can we have this report brought to us because we were not part of the 6th administration? We asked them to bring these reports to us so that we can discuss them, deliberate on them before we vote on them in favor for this department to pay that money back. What they did, because they're pleasing the white man, they voted in favor of that bill. That bill is going to put more strains and frustrations to the two departments, which is health and education, but they voted for it because it came with a white man. That's the main reason. We as Umkhonto weSizwe, we were rejecting it so that we can firstly understand the nature of these unauthorized expenditures. But because many of, even those that we trusted when we were still in Wakoko, they've changed. They're all of a sudden siding with the DA. Honorable Chair, Stakov is the main committee that makes the legislature to account on it. Oversight cannot be only on paper. It must be independent, it must be without favor, it must be free, factual, and doesn't have the conflict of interest. The problem here, Honorable Chair, it starts when the Stakov committee, almost a year now, all our meetings are done on virtual platform. An oversight committee that makes the legislature to account all their meetings for a year, we are doing them on virtual platform. The reason, the justification is repeatedly offered as this is done to save cost. Save cost on oversight. Saving cost on oversight. What do you call it? This is the committee responsible for safeguarding hundreds of millions of rands belonging to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. This is the committee responsible for interrogating financial management and the decisions announced by the Speaker in this House. This is the committee responsible to ensure that proper processes are done and proper regulations are followed in all spheres of this House. But this committee sits on virtual for almost a year. When you ask the chair, he tried to apply his own common sense when I asked him, breaking Rule 162 of the standing rules of the House. That's why even some of the members of this House sits in the Stakov committee, whereby we did not invite them as the Stakov committee. He tried to say why we can't invite them. No, the rules are clear. Rule 162 of the standing rules of the House. The Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Chairperson of Committees, and the Deputy Chairperson of Committees may not be members of the committee and may only participate in the deliberations of the committee at the request of the committee, not at the pleasure of the Chairperson of the committee. Zama uqinisa ubudlelwane babo ngathi. Honorable Speaker, because I don't have time now, As I've said before, we cannot be part of this budget that doesn't bring solutions to the people of KwaZulu-Natal and to this legislature. That doesn't bring any relief to the people of KwaZulu-Natal, but instead it continues to bring frustrations. So we're not going to vote for it. We stand on our firm positions that Umkhonto weSizwe is not going to vote in favor of this budget because it's too little. I thank you.
I would wish that we don't. No. I'm just concerned that in the debate, Honorable Makubane kept on referring to a white man. I think when we begin to call each other by our color for our skin, no, just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Honorable Mbata, don't. No, just wait. Just wait. The matter, no, just wait. Just listen. I was first of all saying, when we debate and we use or call each other white or even black, that is not good. As Honorable Makubane was referring, the concern that Honorable Mbata is making regarding the utterances by the Honorable MEC for Finance are being investigated. And then we will give a ruling. But I'm saying, no, just keep quiet. Just keep quiet. Don't assist me in what I'm doing. I'm just saying, let us not allow the House. Honorable Kasa, uzothi ngiyakusukela futhi. Because I'm talking to Honorable Mbata and addressing the whole House, that when we begin to call each other by our skin of our colors, we are degenerating and actually embarrassing the House. No, just wait, keep quiet. The matter that Honorable Moyo raised is being investigated, and we're going to submit a report on it. But I'm just cautioning that we don't have to go down that route. I'm now asking Honorable MP Kuala to debate on behalf of the IFP for 6 minutes. Over to you, Mr.
Honorable Chairperson of Committees, the people of KwaZulu-Natal expect this legislature not only to oversee public expenditure, but to lead by example. Let us continue to uphold the high standard of governance, strengthening oversight, protect the public purse, and ensure that every decision we take contributes to a more accountable, transparent, and prosperous province. We thank and appreciate the role played by the Honorable Speaker, Nontembeko Boyce, for running this institution with dignity and decorum it deserves. We are proud to be led by a giant with a professionalism and commitment. We also appreciate the leadership of the Honorable Chairperson of STACOF, Mr. Lawrence de Klerk, for leading us in a professional manner. The Inkatha Freedom Party supports the budget of the legislature. Unlike those who choose to oppose every measure brought before this House, Regardless of its merit, we recognize our responsibility not only to our own electorate, but to every citizen whom this legislature exists to serve. In this regard, I am reminded of the words of the German poet, statesman, and a philosopher, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, who wisely observed, "There is nothing more frightening than to see ignorance in action," unquote. This side of the House doesn't have political tantrums. Mudslinging is not on our agenda. We discuss service delivery to the people we represent. We abide ourselves with the Freedom Charter, which talks of equal human rights, with emphasis that all national groups have equal status in the state, courts, and also schools. All laws that discriminate based on race must be repealed. I warn honorable members to desist from attacking each other on the basis of race. After all, we are the image of God. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kuala. Honorable Kasa, ngena yini? Ngena yini? Right, okay. I hope she doesn't repeat it again. Right, we now ask order, honorable members. Order. We now ask the Honorable Speaker to respond to the debate for 20 minutes. Over to you, Mkhonishwa.
Thank you so much, Chairperson of Committees. Thank you to the members. I want to start with a disclaimer. Politics of ethnicism, racism, sexism, and homophobia are not politics to me. So if you are textualizing your own position in any of those, don't invite me. I will not respond and I will not participate with that. But what I will rather do is I will defend the resolutions of this House and the presidencies. In this House, you don't call someone by his or her racial orientation. There is an existing position whereby we've had a member apologize here in this House back in the 5th term. So that's what you must judge me on. I will also table up front that I am not the type that will be weakened by challenges. My clan name is Ndugumlambo Kwelintabe Minyisenyu Isehleka nje Owamuyenyuka. That's the type of a river that my people come from. This means that in the midst of challenges, the ANC prepared me to be a tough leader. That is why, in the midst of the financial challenges, we have these officials ensuring that we account properly and we achieve targets. I want to declare today, some of them were going to the UN to work there. We called them back at a lesser salary than what they were offered elsewhere. They stayed. The CFO is here. Others were taken at a national level, and the secretary said to them, whilst you are offered better, but what is your contribution? So I want you to understand that one of the strong points of this institution is the shoulders that we stand on, the management and the officials here. So I will not allow us to try and look for easy solutions. I hear members say that they will not adopt the budget because it is not enough. These ones left better salaries to come here. But do you in your home When you do not have enough money to buy groceries, stop buying groceries and don't eat. That is easy politics, honorable members. We must come to this house and say that, Chair, we must come to this house, raise this to the executive to ensure that.
Don't. Hey, Honorable Simon, things will keep a man. It's okay. Wapinda is a keep. I'm warning you for the last time now. Just order, honorable members. Let's allow the speaker to respond to the debate.
We must come to this house, raise the difficult things to raise to the executive, but also speak to us as legislators. Our political parties are represented in the other two higher houses. Why can't they change the top slicing there? Because appropriation in this country follows what happens at a national level. We must speak to our political parties. I am inviting you, Honorable Twala, through you, Chair. I'm inviting Honorable Twala. I'm inviting Honorable Makubane and Honorable Mbata to reconsider their position of saying they will not support the budget because it is not enough. That is not leadership. I respect you because you are leaders, you are trusted by the people that voted your parties. Therefore, you need to ensure that we exercise oversight in this house. And for us to exercise oversight is for us to have a KwaZulu-Natal appropriation bill adopted. That's how we will ever be able to make this executive accountable. So I'm inviting you to be united, at least on that. That understanding must bring us together. When you adopt, you are not saying it is enough, but you are saying the task that I saw when I became a member of this house will continue. That's all that I'm asking from the honorable members. Chair, I am further.
Twala wants to rise on a point. What rule are you wanting to rise on, Honorable Twala?
I'm also a point of debate. I'm also inviting the
I
speaker
said no, just
to
wait.
respect,
No.
respect,
Honorable
to
Twala.
respect our position.
Honorable Twala.
I'm also
Honorable Twala. Honorable Twala.
to respect our position.
Honorable Twala, I've not allowed you to speak.
Speaker.
What rule?
Honorable Twala.
What rule? Aye, Twala, what rule?
Honorable Twala.
Aye. Twala.
Honorable Twala, sit down. Sit down, Honorable Twala. Honorable Kasa, who's Hollandelu. Honorable Sam. Order. Honorable members, you see now, any translation between the two of you, you'll be out, definitely. Just behave yourself. All right, let's give the Honourable Speaker to continue.
Chairperson, if in any way that was interpreted as if I don't respect, I want the honorable members to know that I don't engage with those that I disrespect. If I engage with you, it's because I respect you. I respect the three leaders. The same way like every one of us in the house. I've got uttermost respect. Now, coming to what was raised, honorable members, we get you, we hear you. But there are things that we think we must correct. Firstly, the issue that relates to virtual meetings being lack of commitment. Honorable members, when you sit in the Standing Committee on Oversight, you deal with paperwork. You interrogate reports. It's not like when you are going to Department of Transport that you have to go and oversee bridges. So you will need the physical meetings there. I'm not saying the chairperson must not reconsider, but I will speak of the program committee as well as the rules committee because they deal with what is here. Now, when you are a person given a position of leadership, you have to ensure that you create balance so that you don't suffer. We have cut the frills. We stopped, the honorable members, the benchmarking of international benchmarking of committees because we don't afford it. And we are not fine with that. But importantly, we have to do this until it is changed. Honorable members, I am sure that we know the rules, but I think, Deputy Speaker, we must revisit the rules. For instance, we were speaking, Honorable Makubane was speaking about Rule 162, which I believe is another rule because the Rule 162 relates to to subcommittees and decisions of subcommittees. Now, if we can come together, Deputy Speaker, because you know what happens when we are still using different rule books. A member is not doing it intentional, and we then get disadvantaged by missing what the member wanted to say to us, which could have assisted us. I think that we must go back to that before we even start the one of review of the rules, so that we are of the same mind on the rules. Honorable members, I heard Honorable Twala also speaking about the issues that relate to changing the name of a program. I think I will leave that to proper processes. I am very emotional on the matter of Dr. Mahlaba. I might allow emotions to speak and leadership is needed. I will leave that to proper processes. Honorable Madlopa also spoke about the matters of the precinct. Of course, Honorable Madlopa and the members of the House, we can't have people because the public gallery was decommissioned. It is a disadvantage to us, but what have we done? We have mitigated that. Kuneimoto ezilapha phandle bakithi sithengile sino Deputy Speaker no Secretary no CFO. We bought stand ezizodonswa imoto ngemali ye-civic voter education. So when we are meeting here, we are also extending that to the public. There was quite a gathering outside and elsewhere where we have the speakers of the legislature. But of course, we further mitigate that through the bill back where people can connect and then the legislature will be charged so that people remain part of the deliberations. But of course, I believe that Honorable MEC Mayor and I, we still have an outstanding meeting so that we go back to report to the Standing Committee on Oversight about the precinct. That is a legitimate discussion that we need to have. And I am sure that after this, we will have our own meeting to deal with that. Otherwise, what members were emphasizing on, particularly Honorable Gwala and Honorable Shinga and Honorable Mavimbela to a greater extent, was the issue of the integrity of members. How do we conduct ourselves? How do we do the work that we are doing in a manner that will not elevate our parties, but that will elevate an institution? A legislature is different. It is made, unlike indlu yodaka eyakhiwa ngodaka kuphela, hybrid. It is made by both sides in the House. Those sides must have mutual respect to each other. They must have tolerance and acceptance. But should we lessen our voices? No, honorable members. We must sharpen our differences, but our differences must not degenerate to matters of questions on ethics and integrity. I am not saying that has happened now, but I'm saying that the members are raising us so that we are prepared for the future. Of course, Parliament will be boring. You know, I said to Honorable Seme, you will now have Honorable Cele. Hey, you are going to keep me on my toes. I said, Honorable Cele, you are a twin to Honorable Sen. That makes Parliament to be alive. But there is a difference between a banter of colleagues versus disrespect and looking at each other as if we are not equals. So I am pleading with the members that whilst we differ, let's remain equal. What Dr. Kika raised, I will not get into the details. Honorable members, there's a policy that we need to look at it. What is it meant to achieve? The assistance for members. What is the benchmark for that? We need to be honest one day. Honorable Honorable members, we need to be honest. I get a task and then I say I'm unable to perform this task, not because it's issue of inclusion which relates to disability, but it's something else. What do you do with that? I think, honorable members, we can't say members must not apply, and we can't also say members must all be approved, but let's also be responsible. Let's be responsible as party leaders so that when we move forward, we ensure that we put the institution first, not put what we get out of the institution, but we must be better positioned to serve. No. Honorable members, I heard you. And in areas that you have spoken, we will also come to the Standing Committee on Oversight to say, how do we change the mindset? But we will not tolerate, honorable members, what you want us to tolerate. The issue of reducing the work of the legislature to be the work that is about power jostling. I think we must not do that. From both sides of the House, let's find amicable grounds. And I'm leaving this to you, Honorable Kwala, through your chair, to Honorable Kwala and Honorable Mngadi. Honorable Mngadi and Honorable Kwala, at least drive yourselves towards the middle of the House so that this House can focus on why there is high rate of unemployment in this province, why there is no water, while when you go and sleep in establishments, you find that an establishment is saying there is no water in this town between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. It means that for the better part of the day, there is no water. Why, when we are going through the N3, we find that the Ultra City, which are hubs of economic activism, are closed because there's no water? Why there are roads between us and Free State in the state they are in? These are things that we must look at. But importantly, we must find time to look at how do we better resource the social services, which is the Department of Social Development, the Department of Health, and the Department of Education in this province, as well as ensuring that sports, arts, and culture is used for national cohesion, is not used for events only. We build a KwaZulu-Natal that would have a heritage that will be long-lasting, a heritage based on democracy, not based on who or where you were born. That is what we need to focus on. I have noted, honorable members, that sometimes we want to change the debate to be something that is only about but what is more nicer is how do we unite ourselves? For instance, Honorable Mbata, through your chair, made a proposal about the speaker being moved from being a political party. I agree with you. That is a noble thing. It's nice. It's working there in the Westminster where it is. But is that African? Look throughout Africa how we are leading. And has an African ever been in Africa? Has an Africa ever been in a position where they cannot be trusted with that which is not theirs? Africans are the most equal people in terms of treating people. They do not have this prejudice and everything else that we put in place. But of course, honorable members, let's go through the constitutional review process. It happens every year. It closes on the 31st of May, and it is a national-driven program. It is not here. So that it happens from where it should be happening. Otherwise, honorable members, I want to plead with you for the last time. Let us arise to the occasion. This province does not need us to bicker amongst each other. There is a bigger war out there, a war against illegal immigrants, a war against people who are unemployed, which is driven by inequality and results in poverty. There is a bigger war of gender-based violence and femicide. There are people who outside do not have a voice because they are women. There are people who outside do not have a voice because they are young. This house can rise and be a home for all of us. Unite ourselves. Let's stay in our positions political, but at least we must agree that there is a need for leadership, and that leadership must not be searched elsewhere. It must be searched here in this house, because the 80 of us have accepted to be leadership in the province. It doesn't mean that there will be no challenges. There are challenges, honorable members. Sometimes, mina ke ngifika ngilila nje nasekhaya ngililiswa nini ningazi. Kodwa mase ngivuka ngakusasa ngeke ngisalila. I come with a way forward so that the legislature can survive its mandate, which is oversight, lawmaking, and public participation. I am just saying today, as we move forward, honorable members, let's prioritize that what brings us together and forget everything else. Because if we can go responding to each and every one of us, I stand a risk of upsetting one or two of you. But let me call for us to come together. We know that we can never agree fully, but let's find areas of compromise. And we make use of the areas of compromise. Then we have a legislature that is going to be a force to reckon with, a legislature that will be the change that the people of KwaZulu-Natal want to see. When we do that, honorable members, we would be giving the generations to come after us a reason to believe in democracy and a reason to believe in representation. Of course, there are many parties in South Africa that are registered. But why did it happen to be these parties that are here? It's because you have to serve the people of this province. I am just asking all of us, may we serve the people. Let's come to work on time. Let's stay in the work of the legislature. Let's contribute. Manje angazi ke ngizomnaka kanjani umhlonitshwa ngoba uqale wahletyelwa ngumhlonitshwa ongumngane wami waseNewcastle. Manje ke useyamemeza ngizobona ukuthi mina ngimenyezwa nguwe mhlonitshwa waseNewcastle. Amadoda kade izama ukusiqhatha sivumi inhlobo. I am saying, let's do our work. Let's be accountable. But when we are done here, go to your constituency. Go to your constituency office and constituency area and do work. Represent the legislature and represent your party there, but also represent the legislature. Otherwise, I want to thank all of the members who had participated in the debate. You have enriched us. We will, in our daily work, ensure that we incorporate some of the thoughts. But of course, the others need to be refined. You may not see it, but be aware that everything that was said, we've internalized it and we will take forward. We want to say, lastly, as we live here, honorable members, the legislature have got platforms for members to partake, including ensuring that they have their voice, make that voice to fly the flag of KwaZulu-Natal legislature higher. Thank you, Chair.
We thank the Honourable Speaker for responding to the debate. We thank all honourable members. We have now come to the end of the debate on vote 4. This session is adjourned. Thank you.
Sizoyilungisa lento yakho sibani.
Qedile manje.
Ngeke usasuka lapho sibali. Sala lapho sibali.
Ntima ungasuka hlala mfowethu. Ubambe kahle umcimbi wakho.
Siyayikhulumisa lento yakho.
Siyayikhulumisa lento yakho nabantu abadala. Bufuna
I'm told the secretary says I said we finish vote 4. I don't think I said that, but if I said it, I corrected to vote 2. We concluded on vote 2. Thank you.
Noma ikuphi sibala kunankinga.
Mayor, sit down. Mayor, sit down. Sit down.
Order, Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, let's take this opportunity for a silent prayer or meditation. Amen. members, honorable members, we are back in the house. Honorable Zuma, PM, and Honorable Mngati, PC. We will now move to item number 2, obituaries. Honorable members, in the spirit of respect and remembrance, this House pauses to reflect on the lives of those who have recently departed. The contributions, large or small, public or private, have helped build the communities we serve and cherish today. To the families and loved ones who grieve their loss, we convey our sincere condolences. May the memory of their service bring comfort and enduring pride. We now pay tribute to the following individuals: the legendary South African actor Seputla Sebukhoti, famously known as Kenneth Mashaba, whose remarkable career helped to shape generations of South African storytelling and entertainment. A gifted performer of immense talent and distinction. He leaves behind a legacy that will continue to inspire artists and audiences for years to come. Seputla Sebukhoti became a household name through a succession of memorable television performances that showcased his extraordinary versatility and commanding screen presence. His work in acclaimed productions such as Generation, Suburban Bliss, Bophelo ke Semphego, Redemption, and most recently Scandal, endeared him to millions of viewers across the country and cemented his place among South Africa's most respected actors. Beyond his success on television, Sebukhoti was a celebrated theatre practitioner whose contribution to the stage was equally profound. His distinguished theatre career featured acclaimed productions including Big Dada, Waiting for Godot, The Rivonia Trial, Once a Pirate, and Moist Street Moves, among many others. Through these performances, he demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the craft of storytelling and the development of South African theatre. Remember the victims of gender-based violence, femicide, and hate crimes, public servants and traditional leaders of our province and the country at large. Flood victims, artists and veterans of the entertainment industry, all those who have tragically lost their lives in road accidents across our province in recent weeks. Honorable members, I now invite all of you to stand for a moment of profound silence in honor of those who departed, including those not mentioned here. May their souls rest in peace. Honorable members, I will now move to item 3, which is announcements. We have not received any apologies as the Office of the Speaker for consideration. So that was the first announcement on apologies. We will now go to swearing in of a new member. Honorable members, following the untimely passing of Honorable Dr. NNG Mahlaba, a vacancy arose in the representation of the African National Congress in this esteemed House. In accordance with the applicable legislative and constitutional provisions, the vacancy has been duly filled. I therefore wish to inform the House that Honorable Mrs. Zinhle Lindeka Immaculate Cele was officially sworn in as a member of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature on Thursday, 16 July 2026. In the Speaker's office. On behalf of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to Honorable Cele. We congratulate you on her appointment. We wish her every success. We look forward to your valuable contribution to the deliberations. Welcome, Honorable Cele. Once more, welcome, Honorable Cele. Honorable members, ndithande ukuba weak ngizwa ngithethiswa. Honorable Gasa, you may take your stand. Bushesha ku Honorable Mtimande. Ubumemeza angazi nobuthi umagubane nobubuthi So it was not you who was shouting. Okay. May whoever was shouting do raise out, because ngizwe ngathi nibiza igama lika Honorable Magubane. Honorable members, I hear that you are saying there's a member that we did not introduce. We understand that we introduced the new member, the Honorable PMS Ngubane, the member who had come in the IFP component. But for clarity, if that was the case, Honorable PMS Ngubane, we had welcomed you. I might not have been the one that was doing it, but you are still welcome. Ngenzela ke bahlonishwa ningabikho khohlwayo next time ebebengimemeza ngalana. Honorable members, we are now to the third announcement, notification. Honorable Makubane, akwabe kuthiwa wena ukumenyezwa ke eqaleni. Honorable members, the Office of the Speaker has received formal notification together with the requisite supporting documentation from Honorable Siti Muhayeka regarding the change of his surname from Khanyi to Muhayeka. Honorable members are kindly requested to note that with effect from today, as it has been happening also with the debate, Honorable Siti Khanyi is henceforth Honorable Siti Muhayeka. The updating of his personal details across all relevant systems in the legislature has been processed and will continue in due course. Honorable members, I will take liberty. Honorable Sangweni, I will take liberty to ask you to withdraw that. Don't do that what was done to you wrongly to others.
They said the very same thing when we speak, but I withdraw.
Ungabuyisela kubi ngokubi. Honorable members are notified and invited to attend the 2026 Joint Young Women's and LGBTQIA+ Symposium, which will be held on Thursday, 23 July 2026, starting at 9 o'clock at Truro Hall in the Northdale area, Pietermaritzburg, under Umsunduzi Municipality. Thank you to the CPA for that. The next announcement is on voting, on party voting. You are reminded, honorable members, that this sitting will be conducted in terms of our standing rules. Rule 288(4) of the standing rules states that the presiding officer or chairperson must, before or at the start of the discussion on the matter, expressly inform members if a party vote will be taken. In line with the above, I can confirm that voting will take place on the KwaZulu-Natal Appropriation Bill 2026. Bear in mind that a party vote is a collective vote on behalf of all the members of a party present at a virtual sitting up to the total membership of that party in the sitting. I will, however, allow an opportunity for any individual member to vote differently from his or her party or to abstain if any member wishes to do so. We'll now proceed with the rest of the items on the order paper. And we move to item 4, which is announcements or reports by the Premier. I therefore call upon the Honorable Premier to make announcements.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The Honorable MEC Duma, the Leader of Government Business, members of the Executive, in our midst, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Chief Whip, Inkosi Yesizwe Sasematungeni, Honorable members. I rise to report to this House on a matter of considerable importance to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. It will be recalled, Madam Speaker, that upon assuming office, the 7th administration resolved, as a matter of deliberate policy, to confront the deficit of business confidence that had come to define our province's political economy. This was not a decision taken lightly, nor one left to chance. As the apex office of this province, the Office of the Premier has since taken the lead in convening strategic engagements with organized business formations and individual investors alike. Honorable Speaker, I am pleased to report to this House that this approach bears fruit. A number of major businesses are, even as I address this House, in the process of reinvesting in our province. In the past fortnight alone, Madam Speaker, I have attended a series of events that speak directly to the restoration of investor confidence in our provincial economy. I shall, with the permission of this House, detail these engagements presently. Last week, Madam Speaker, I was honored to attend an event hosted by one of the leading international companies that has made our province its home, Toyota South Africa, on the occasion of the launch of its new Hilux and Corolla Cross model lines. Toyota has contributed immensely to the development of local communities of this province and of this country. The launch was yet another landmark in the long journey of a company that did not see us as a well from which to dip and go, but rather as a place worth of a long-term relationship. The surrounding communities of KwaMakuta, Amanzimtoti, and many others can attest to the anchor role that Toyota has played in the socio-economic stability of that area through good times and through difficult ones. At the launch, honorable members, I met young people who had been trained in Japan in the craft of motor vehicle manufacturing, a skill that would serve them for a lifetime and equip them to build careers wherever that skill may take them. Toyota is no longer merely a foreign company with commercial interest in our country, but is a member of KwaZulu-Natal. Yesterday, Madam Speaker, I had the further privilege of attending the ribbon-cutting ceremony for water meter verification laboratory at Conlock, a proudly South African company that has, for more than 6 decades, manufactured electricity and water meters right here in KwaZulu-Natal, supplying the entire continent. 6 decades in this province is not a coincidence, Madam Speaker. It is a decision made and remade every single year. That kind of loyalty speaks louder than any investment brochure. Conlock today serves 58 countries from right here in KwaZulu-Natal. That is more than a commercial reach. Honorable Speaker, that is diplomacy. Every meter that leaves our shores tells the world that KwaZulu-Natal is a serious place to do business. Toyota and Conlock both have their headquarters here in this province, the one in Prospecting, the other at Dube Trade Port. Together, they stand as evidence that KwaZulu-Natal is indeed open for business and that investor confidence in our province is on the rise. Madam Speaker, as a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, we place great value on social accountability and citizen participation. It is against this background that tomorrow I will lead my executive council to an imbizo to be held in the Ilembe district to preside over the Operation Sungumasake stroke DDM program, a flagship initiative that ensures services are delivered consistently throughout the year and not only during election periods. Sungumasake provides communities with a platform to raise pressing service delivery and social issues directly with government, national, provincial, and local government, thereby strengthening accountability and responsiveness. This program embodies our commitment to listening to our people and to acting decisively to improve their daily lives. Madam Speaker, this seventh administration is not blind to the social ills that continue to afflict our communities. As part of confronting these challenges and discussing lasting solutions, I will on Thursday host the Men's Day program in the Umgungundlovu District Municipality bringing together men, boys, traditional leaders, and faith-based leaders to engage on the subject of positive masculinity. This initiative encourages men to desist from the abuse of women and children, and is in so doing to help build a stable and peaceful province, one that attracts investment and nurtures a social cohesion. In that same spirit of community upliftment, KwaZulu-Natal will this weekend celebrate its sporting excellence to continue producing players who represent KwaZulu-Natal on national and international stages. We will host the 2 days Premiers Cup at Sugar Ray at Xulu Stadium on a Saturday and Princess Makoko Stadium on a Sunday. This tournament will prepare our local teams for the upcoming season, unveil new talents, and showcase why KwaZulu-Natal leads the country with the highest number of clubs competing in the Betway Premiership. We will also be having a meeting on the 25th Saturday in Gauteng with the hostel dwellers from KwaZulu-Natal to try to encourage them to desist from killing one another, as Amakos are worried in the province of KwaZulu-Natal that weekend by weekend we're seeing more bodies being brought down to the province of KwaZulu-Natal. In collaboration with the Gauteng province government, the Department of Cocta in KwaZulu-Natal in Gauteng, Community Safety and Liaising in KwaZulu-Natal in Gauteng, we will engage the hospital dwellers being led by Amakosi from the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker, for the opportunity, and the honorable members.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. We will move to item 5, which is tabling of reports or papers. There is no tabling that have been made to us, but as soon as they are being made, we will indulge them. We'll now move to item 6, which is formal motions or notices by the Chief Whip. Honorable Chief Whip.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, Leader of Government Business, MECs, Chair of Chairs, and my colleague, Deputy Chief Whip, colleagues in the Legislature. The Office of the Chief Whip has no motions or notices for today. I thank you.
Honorable members, we want to move to the orders of the day, but before we could move, we need to be cleared by the chairperson of committees, since we have been in the mini plenaries for the past week. We now call upon the acting chairperson of committees, Honorable Kunene, to give us that clearance or not.
The Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Premier, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable MECs, Honorable members, and the Secretary to the Legislature. I rise to report on the processing of the budget by the Committee of the Whole House. Following the presentation of the Appropriation Bill by MEC for Treasury, Honorable Rogers, on Thursday, 10 March 2026, the Honorable Speaker referred the budget vote processes to the Committee of the House for processing. It must be noted that the Legislature had already agreed on a process dealing with the Appropriation Bill, noting that there had been prior withdrawal of the Appropriation Bill as influenced by the withdrawal of the Division of Revenue Bill. The process was therefore that the committee processes would unfold after the Division of Revenue Bill has been passed. Leading to this process, the legislature committees received and analyzed the departmental APPs. The budget hearings were then held from 5 June to 24 June 2026. The various votes were thereafter debated as follows. Tuesday, 14 July, it was the general budget debate. It was the vote 1, Office of the Premier. It was vote 9, Community Safety and Liaison. It was vote 4, Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs. On Thursday, 16 July 2026, it was vote 12, Transport. It was vote 11, COGTA. It was vote 6, Provincial Treasury. It was vote 8, Human Settlements. On Friday, 17 July 2026, it was vote 7, Health. It was vote 3, Agriculture and Rural Development. It was vote 5, Education. It was vote 14, Public Works and Infrastructure. Tuesday, 21 July 2026, today, it was vote 10, Sports, Arts and Culture. Vote 13, Social Development. And last one was vote 2, the Provincial Legislature. Other than for the general budget debate and debates on votes 1 and 2, all other mentioned debates were undertaken through mini plenaries. Conclusion. We wish to thank all members, MECs and their departmental officials, chairpersons of committees, committee members, and support officials from the legislature for their role in making the budget debate a success. We wish to report that the Committee of the House has undertaken the budget debates and concluded its work. We therefore recommend to the Speaker and the House that the budget be voted on in order to conclude the budget process. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Gunene, and you giving us now reason to move forward with the appropriation, finalization of the appropriation bill of the province. We want to say on record, we appreciate you and the panel of presiding officers that have presided over these mini plenaries. You did not demonstrate that aniphelelanga. You were committed and you held it in a manner that respected the rules of the House. We appreciate your leadership, and you can send the same to your panel members on behalf of myself and the Deputy Speaker. Thank you. Now, honorable members, with that said then, with that said, we will start the voting procedure on the KwaZulu-Natal Appropriation Bill. Note that, as we announced at the beginning, this sitting is held on hybrid form. There are members that are in the House, and there are members that are connected virtually from both sides of the House, and the voting will be done in terms of Rule 2884, which is party voting. I therefore confirm that for the voting on the KZN Appropriation Bill 2026, voting will be conducted per party, honorable members. Of course, we will give members individual vote or opportunity to abstain. Now, we want to have all members connected whips as well as coming back. We will ring the bell for 3 minutes so that you get your members in the House. I just want to put it for the record that those that are online are already here, all of them. The bell. Service officers, I wanted to see you in your positions in the, and I don't understand where's your sergeant at arms when the files have been run. Now, honorable members, we will now proceed with the voting on the KwaZulu-Natal Appropriation Bill 2026. In terms of Standing Rule 2412, after the debate has been concluded, the question must be put on one, the program within a vote, or where a vote comprises more than one program, on all the programs within that vote combined, and thereafter on the vote itself. 2, on the schedule or schedules, and 3, the appropriation bill itself in that order. Divisions, recording of opposition and declaration of vote. It is a hybrid sitting, honorable members, and you are reminded that in terms of Rule 2962E of the Standing Rules, the rules pertaining to divisions do not apply to virtual or hybrid sitting. This includes hybrid sittings where in part of the House is connected virtually. There will therefore be no divisions. There will be allowance, of course, for recording of oppositions on any program or vote. There will also be allowance for a declaration of vote at the end of the debate. Recording of opposition. The Office of the Speaker has not received any request for a recording of opposition in terms of Rule 921 from any party. There is no deadline for this request. Parties are still free to do so and indicate when they are recording their opposition. In accordance with past practice, all recordings of oppositions will be dealt with immediately after the question has been put on the particular programs within the vote in which a party wishes to record its opposition. On declarations of vote, the Office of the Speaker has also not received any request from any party for a declaration of vote that is to address the House for 3 minutes after the question on the entire bill has been put. There is no deadline for submission of such a request. As is customary, I will, after the bill has been voted on, permit parties who want to make declaration of vote in terms of Rule 9.1 if they wish to do so. If that so happens, honorable members, we will be going party by party. We will start with checking with EF, MK, EFF, NFP, DA, ANC, and IFP in that order. I will now go vote by vote and program by program without reading out figures. Once the House has voted on each program, I will put the vote as a whole to the vote. As I indicated prior to the start of the debate, I will now go party by party to obtain the vote and thereafter check if any member wishes to record an individual vote. Can I also first remind members of the provisions of the Constitution and the standing rules relating to the vote of the member that presides? That is found in section 112(2)(a) of the Constitution, which provides thus, open and close quote, that member presiding at a meeting of a provincial legislature has no deliberate vote, but A must cast a deciding vote when there is an equal number of votes on either side of a question. This is further echoed in Rule 852A of the KwaZulu-Natal Standing Rules. I will now start because we are done with our own 3 minutes. I will start with vote 1, the Office of the Premier. Those in support of programs 1, 2, and 3, I start with MK.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members in the House, inkosi yasemadungeni, umkhonto wesizwe vote against. Thank you.
I will request members going forth. Thank you, Honorable Madhagofu, to just go straight to the vote going forward. The next member is EFF.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Economic Freedom Fighters abstain. Thank you.
The NFP.
Madam Speaker, the National Freedom Party supports.
The DA,
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Democratic Alliance supports.
the ANC,
Honorable Speaker, the African National Congress vote in support.
and the IFP.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The IFP votes in support.
Members, we have the votes of all parties. Is there any member that wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain? I see that there is none. Secretary, can I ask for the tally of the votes?
Thank you.
Order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The total number of members present is 80, 76 physically present and 4 virtually connected. Votes in favor, 40. Votes against, 37. Abstentions, 2. In terms of Section 1122A of the Constitution, the Speaker does not have a deliberative vote under the circumstances. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. Those in favor is 40, those against is 37, abstentions is 2. It is recorded that the programs are supported. Members, for the sake of dealing with the matter with speed, for the remainder of the programs and votes, I will simply ask if there is any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have just voted. I trust that this is okay with all the parties. I am checking. No. You did not hear. That's why I was looking. I am saying that we will check a party's change or a new vote. We will not say it's taken for granted and each party will be afforded that wants to vote differently. Oh, no, it's voting differently. To abstain is to vote differently. So, honorable members, those in support of vote 1 as a whole, is there any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have just voted? You have just voted in support of the 3 programs. You have also voted to abstain. You have also voted against the 3 programs. So if your party is changing their vote, they signal there. It seems that there is none. It is recorded that the vote is supported, honorable members. We go to vote 2, the provincial legislature. Those in support of programs 1 and 2, is there any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have just voted? I am checking. Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or abstain? I see that there is none, Nopala. It will be recorded that the voting results are the same as those for programs in vote 1. It is therefore recorded that the programs in vote 2 are supported. Now we are moving to those in support of vote 2 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have just been voting? Or is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? It looks like there is none, Nobala, from where I'm standing, and it is recorded that vote 2 is supported. We'll now go to vote 3, agriculture and rural development. Those in support of program 1, 2, and 3. Honorable members, I'm 50 years old. Ngoku sendiva yonke into nefanele ngayivanga sendingeva lekufanele ndiyivile. So ndicela ama members abe sure ukuthi ehlisa amazwi. Is there any parties that wishes to vote differently to how they have been voting? Programs 1, 2, and 3, is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? I see that there is none. It is recorded that both programs 1, 2, and 3 of vote 3 are supported. Now we're moving to those in support of vote 3 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have just been voted? I see that there is now party. Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Honorable members, it is therefore recorded that vote 3 is supported. We'll now move to vote for economic development, tourism, and environmental affairs. Those in support of programs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have just been voting? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? I see that there is none. It will be recorded that the voting results are still the same as was for the first vote. So all the programs in vote 4 are supported. We will now move to vote 4 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Noting that honorable members are still voting in the same way that they were voting in the programs in vote 1, it is recorded that the vote 4 is supported. We'll now move to vote 5, education. Those in support of programs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of vote 5, is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? I can see that there is none, and it is recorded that the results of the voting remain the same, and the programs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of vote 5 are supported. We now move to those in support of vote 5 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote otherwise? Is there any member that wishes to record an individual vote or to abstain? It is recorded, honorable members, that vote 5 is supported. We'll now move to vote 6, provincial treasury. Those in support of programs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is there any party that wants to vote differently to how they have been voted? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? I see that there is none. It is therefore recorded that the programs in vote 6 are supported. Now we will move to those in support of vote 6 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have been voting? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, honorable members, it is recorded that vote 6 is supported. We'll now move to vote 7, health. Those in support of programs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Honorable Kika Uyapakamis? Oh. Honorable member, seeing that there is none, it is recorded that all the programs in vote 7 are supported. Now we'll move to those who support, in support of vote 7 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Is there any member that wants to vote individually or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, it is recorded that vote 7 is supported. We'll now go to vote 8, human settlements. Those in support of programs 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have just voted? Hey, girl, these are Leo. No, me. Is there a member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, it is recorded that the programs in vote 8 are supported. We'll now move to vote those in support of vote 8 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have been voting? Is there any member who wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, it is recorded that vote 8 is supported. We'll now move to vote 9, community safety and liaison. Those in support of programs 1 and 2. Is there any party that wishes to vote in a different manner? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? It is recorded that both programs in vote 9 are supported. Now we're moving to those in support of vote 9 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote in a different manner? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? It will be recorded that the results remain the same, and it is recorded that vote 9 is supported. We go to vote 10, sports, arts and culture. Those in support of programs 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, it is recorded that all the programs in vote 10 are supported. Now we are looking for those in support of vote 10 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, it is recorded that the vote remains the same, and it is recorded that the vote 10 is supported. Honorable members, I hate doing this in the middle of a voting. There is someone who's having a phone that is in contravention of the rules. Please. Yeah. Don't move from the door. Just stand there, service officer, and tell them to go away. I don't know why you are all going out. Tell the person to go away and come back. Honorable members. I'm sorry about that, honorable members. Vote 11, cooperative governance and traditional affairs. Those in support of programs 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently to how they have been voting? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, it is recorded that the results remain the same, and all the programs in vote 11 are supported. We now move to those in support of vote 11 as a whole. Is there anyone that wishes to change the voting? Is there any member that wishes to record an individual vote or to abstain? It is recorded that we still have the same results, and vote 11 is supported. We now go to vote 12, transport. Those in support of programs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is there any party that wishes to change how they have been voting? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, it is recorded that the programs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of vote 12 are supported. Now we're moving to those in support of vote 12 as a whole. Is there anyone who wishes to record a different voting? Is there any member who wishes to record an individual vote or to abstain? Assuming that there is none, it is recorded that vote 12 is supported. We now move to vote 13, social development. Those in support of programs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Is there any member that wishes to record an individual vote or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, it is recorded that the vote still remains the same as it happened in vote 1, and all the programs in vote 13 are supported. Now we are moving to those in support of vote 13 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? Seeing that it is none, it will still be recorded that the voting results are still the same as they were in vote for the programs in vote 1, and it is recorded that vote 13 is supported. We are now moving to vote 13, public works. Those in support of program 1, 2, and 3, is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? I say that there is none. It is recorded that the voting results are still the same as they were for the programs in vote 1, and the programs in vote 14 are supported. We now move to those in support of vote 14 as a whole. Is there any party that wishes to vote differently? Okay, is there any member that wishes to vote individually or to abstain? I can see that the results are remaining the same as they were in programs in vote 1, and it is recorded that vote 14 is supported. That concludes voting on all the programs and votes. Angazi ukuthi yini ehlekisayo uma kwenzeke lokho kuthiwa kwenzekile ngoba nithi abanye bangabisezwa. Voting on the schedule and the bill itself. We're now putting the question on the schedule to the bill and on the bill itself. Those in support of the schedule to the KZN Appropriation Bill 2026 and of the bill itself. I will start with MK.
Thanks, Madam Speaker. We will vote against.
EFF.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We abstain. Thank you.
NFP.
Madam Speaker, honorable members, we vote in support.
TA.
The Democratic Alliance supports.
ANC.
The African National Congress supports.
IFP.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sorry for that. The IFP supports.
Members, we have the vote of all parties. Is there any member who wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain?
Is gone offline. Which one? Gas.
Okay. Honorable members. Honorable members. If there is, I can see that there is none. Nobala, we can take the tally of the votes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Total number of members present is now 79. 76 members are present physically. 3 members are present virtually. The 1 member has left the platform. So we have 79 members present. The results are therefore as follows. Votes in favor, 40. Votes against, 36. Abstentions, 2. In terms of Section 112(2)(a) of the Constitution, the Speaker does not have a deliberative vote under the circumstances. Thank you.
Honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote, which is as follows. Those in favor, 40, against 36, abstentions, 0. Abstentions, 2. I'm sorry. Let me do that again. Eh? Those in favor, 40, against 36, abstentions, 2. It is recorded that the KwaZulu-Natal Appropriation Bill 2026 as a whole is supported, and that concludes voting on the bill. Secretary, read the bill into the record.
The KwaZulu-Natal Appropriation Bill 2026.
Members, I have concluded. We are checking whether there is any request for an opportunity to state reasons. I can see that there is no party that has indicated. Okay. That's what I was calling for, and no one arose. And do you know why? It's because members are busy with other things. Okay. You can go. Give your shot. I have noted that MK has wanted to use that.
May I start, Speaker?
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We as Umkhonto Wesizwe Party rejects the continued practice of presenting budgets that create the illusion of progress while masking the institutional failures. Budgets are not measured by glossy estimates or polished speeches. They are measured by the condition of our roads, the schools, the hospitals, the government buildings, and the dignity in which they serve our people. This is not a sound budgeting. It is setting the departments for failure. The committees themselves warned that the reduced allocations will undermine infrastructure maintenance, property management, and the unblocking of stalled projects in the departments and development in the lives of our people. Our question as Umkhonto Wesizwe is, if members already recognize the danger of budget cuts, why they approve budget that entrenches the danger? Honorable Speaker, across KwaZulu-Natal, we continue to witness deteriorating government buildings. Schools require urgent maintenance. Clinics are falling into disrepair. Office accommodations remains inadequate. Public facilities suffer leaking roofs, broken sanitation systems, electrical failures, and structural defects that compromise the service delivery. Maintenance has become reactive than being preventative. Government waits until buildings become unsafe before acting. That approach costs taxpayers for more than the routine maintenance ever would. Infrastructure should never be viewed as an expense. It is an investment on economic growth, dignity, and public service delivery. Every delayed maintenance project increases future repair cost. Every neglected building becomes tomorrow's reconstruction project. This budget does not adequately confront the real reality in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. This illustrates a broader failure of government coordination. One sphere of government owes one another. The department spent increasing portions of their budget servicing historical obligations instead of building new infrastructure. The people of KwaZulu-Natal did not elect government that shift money in
Sit
between
down. Honorable
departments.
members, take your seats. Honorable, not you. Honorable Madondos. Honorable Madondo, go back to your seat, please. You may continue. So sorry, sir.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As I'm concluding, the people of KwaZulu-Natal did not elect government that shift money between departments while roads collapse and the public buildings deteriorate. They elected government that needs to build the province. They elected government that was supposed to maintain the province. They elected government that was supposed to deliver to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. But the GPU double-crossed the real party that won this province. I thank you.
Honorable members. Okay, Bahlonishwa. Okay, Bahlonishwa. Oh. Honorable Bahlonishwa Manin. Okay. Honorable members, order. Is there any other party that wants to do the declaration? There was only MK that has indicated to do that. And bahlonitshwa yeke lento ofuna ukuzilalela nina nokuthi kulalelwe nina lalelani nabanye nithule ngoku xa sekudlulile ixesha lenu. The item on the order paper concerning the KwaZulu-Natal Appropriation Bill 2026 is concluded. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you so much for how you have conducted yourselves. There are little things, honorable members, that we need to remind you that may have risen out of the process. Honorable members, when we say we are still doing the part that relates to voting, don't leave the House. You know, what is very painful is that Honorable Pelkasa will deny what she has done again. I plead with you, Makelwane, to please be in order. Honorable members, don't do what you are doing that is moving. But also, honorable members, when you have a matter to raise in a sitting as a transgression to the rules, you raise it during the process. Don't be writing to us on things that we're not even presiding of. Or else if you feel that it's something that you should really raise, send it to ethics then, rather than sending it. But remember that the reason you must be present consciously, not physically, is so that you can pick up matters and raise them at that point in time so that they are dealt with. That's why we have rules of debate. Now, once you refer it outside that, you are giving us difficulties. Lastly, honorable members, we have privileges and immunities that are accorded to members. Do tell that to your supporters of your party so that what happens in the House in the line of debate is known that members are also protected but in that space. So, honorable members, thank you for everything that you have done. Actually, whilst you are, it's nice to say the other party. Also in your party, a whip writes about things that happened during a debate. So it's important that we protect the integrity of each other. I did not want to come to names, Honorable Whip Makuban, but now you are making me go there. Then you must ensure that you also do that education and advocacy, first amongst the 4 of you, and then amongst the 37 of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, honorable members. The House is adjourned until the 30th of July.